is the Big O Show. This 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 is...
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Ready to rock and roll from the beautiful offices of KSDT CPAs here in Dadeland. They've got offices in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County, and also in Charlotte, too. So for our friends in North Carolina. And if you happen to be looking for work, please give them a ring because they're hiring in all those offices. So each one, Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach, and in Charlotte. So give them a ring. You see the number there on the billboard, 305-670-3370 for those of you listening on the podcast. As always, good morning to you, Sean Stanley. Let's see, Friday, November 17th, 2023. So last night we told you to take the Heat minus 3.5. How'd that go? Good. That's right. We told you to take the Panthers plus a goal and a half. Didn't I tell you that half goal you sneak in? You snuck it in. We gave you a parlay yesterday. Bam over 3.5 assists. Jaquez over 8.5 points. And the Heat minus 3.5. You won that. The only one we didn't win was the Bengals plus 3.5. And that's only because Joe Burrow got injured. That's it. That's all. So, By the way, why isn't it being said now? Joe Burrow's injury prone. Joe Burrow's always injured. Joe Burrow breaks down all the time. Doesn't mean you don't wait for him because he's a great quarterback, but I'm just saying if it's good for Tua, why isn't it good for Joe Burrow? I don't wish it on anybody because it's terrible for the league, dude. Okay? I don't want Aaron Rodgers injured, even though it's the stinking Jets. No, I want to beat the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. It's a lot more fun. I don't want Josh Allen injured. I want the Dolphins to beat the Bills with Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a fan of injuries, even for teams I hate. And you look at and I don't care about the Bengals. I hate the Bills, I hate the Patriots, and I hate the Jets. But that's just normal because I've been a Dolphin fan my whole life. So how in the hell am I going to care about those teams? I hate those teams, but I don't wish any injury on anybody. I don't care if it's Josh Allen or Jim Kelly. Doesn't matter to me, dude. Okay? Breece Hall or Thurman Thomas. I'm not wishing injury on anybody. That's just not good. That's not good karma. That's classless. All that kind of stuff. But I do have to say that Joe Burrow's injured all the time. Those are the facts. Injured all the time. So I just want to throw it out there because if you want to just throw it out there for Tua, and it's true, right? Because he's been injury prone. I have no problem with that. Joe Burrow's injury prone. I mean, it's always some kind of injury. And I'm glad that we got to see something in this situation because it rolls over into another situation that I want to talk about. But it's funny how that narrative, which is super accurate, has not picked up anywhere. Nobody's talking about it. Joe Burrow is injury prone. He's injured again. So from here on out, we have to say, well, hey, the Bengals have a shot if Joe Burrow can stay healthy. Bengals can win 10, 12, 15 games if Joe Burrow can stay healthy. Bengals can make it to the playoffs maybe if Joe Burrow stays healthy. Bengals won't make the playoffs because Joe Burrow can't stay healthy. I mean, those are the facts now, right? I mean, this is the way we have to look at it. At least on this show, officially, that's the caveat that will be tied to Joe Burrow from here on out. He's a sack of injuries. He's always injured. Those are the facts. So if you're going to say it for Tua or any other player that is injury prone, let's be consistent now. Because Joe Burrow misses more games than Tua. Sorry, but those are what can I tell you? Guy misses more games than Tua. Injury prone. So, what you got for me?
No, I was going to ask something, and then now I just looked up online, and 43 minutes ago, the NFL is to investigate the Bengals for the injury report compliance because he's shown wearing the brace getting off the plane, and they said, and then they asked, the coach said that's the first time he's seen the injury.
Yeah.
So it's like,
the coach has to say that.
No, I understand he have to say it, but it's
what's that term they use for like the president when they're doing some dirty stuff? Yeah, right. Plausible deniability. That's it. Plausible deniability. And so the coach has to have that because then he's part of the fine. So what they'll do is they'll fine the team is what they'll do. Overall. I am really, really glad that Joe Burrow got exposed with the wrap on his wrist. I hope he didn't have an injured wrist or anything like that. That I don't want him to have. but he has it, unfortunately. By the way, I lost the bet because of that. The only bet I lost last night, it's because they lied about information. So, it's very interesting. Very interesting what's developed here in the media and in public. And we talked a little bit about it yesterday with Carissa Thompson. And Carissa Thompson said, she's BS'd some sideline reports, right? So now people are livid. And I laugh. They're livid, and I laugh. Do you know why I laugh? Because 99% of the media, writing, radio, or TV, doesn't do what I do. I tell it like it is, no matter what. Do you think all the media members do that? No. So you just saw an example. They're hiding the Joe Burrow injury from you, right? Well, that's the team hiding it. So they're lying to you, right? So what happens when a reporter is BSing a report for an agent? What happened? What all the stuff that Woj was doing for the Portland Trailblazers? He was lying. He was manipulating the coverage. Why don't they do that? I've told this story before. You know the story because I've told it before. You've been with me long enough now. So one day I know that Pat Surtain is going to be out. So I want to report it. My program director stops me from reporting it. He goes, we can't. Hank recorded the Dave Wanstead show, and the Dave Wanstead show, he says that Pat Surtain is practicing and that they're going to give him a warm up before the game to see if he's a go. But I already knew he was out. So I'm the only reporter in the country that knows that Pat Surtain is definitely not playing. And my outlet is not allowing me to report it. So then you don't know the truth. Bettors don't know the truth. But I lose my job, right? Because if I tell my boss, screw you, I'm going to break the story. It's not a major story that's going to make my career or break my career or whatever. But these are the things we have to deal with in the media. Right? I've told you the story before. Whiteside leaves a semi-automatic rifle in his car unlocked. He walks out of the gun store. Anybody can see a big 7-foot dude putting a gun in his car, and he doesn't lock it, and they steal it. So the next day, the story comes out, all that, and I call Whiteside a knucklehead, which, by the way, is that a stretch? An idiot or a knucklehead? Even without that incident, did you not think he was an idiot or a knucklehead anyways? Whatever. So I got the program director coming at me, another program director, different program director. Hey, we have a relationship with the teams. You have to call him an idiot. Well, yeah, when you leave a semi-automatic rifle unlocked in a car and it gets stolen, I'm going to call you an idiot. So I love the disgust that the media has when they work for corporations that force them to lie to you. They lie to you in the news all the time. All the time. I tell you about this all the time. When we talk about politics, when we talk about money, when we talk about finances, when we talk about the dollar and all that kind of stuff here, I point out all the lies all the time. So I love how all these people are all in disgust when they work for these corporations that will force you to lie. Because if you don't, you will lose your job. And take it from me,
the guy that's been fighting it his entire career, because I just don't like to go down that avenue. I refuse to go down that avenue. And it's things that that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. The other day a friend of mine said, dude, why don't you go back to radio? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go back to radio ever again. I can never be myself at radio. I have to then fight with people behind the scenes. You know what I mean? And so Carissa Thompson, and remember, I said it yesterday, that I can understand why she would do that. What happens if you run into a pissed off coach? Okay. And then hey, coach, no, I don't got time. And he walks away. And then they throw it to you. What do you got? Oh, I got nothing. He blew me off. So now now the NFL team is pissed. The league is pissed. Your boss is pissed because now you exposed everything now. Now you told the world that the coach is a D-bag and didn't do his responsibility. So now he looks like a jerk. The team looks like a jerk. The league looks like a jerk. And then you ratted everybody out. So that's what Carissa Thompson could do. You throw it to me. I love how people just throw stuff out and they've never done this business. They don't know what it's all about. They don't know the politics. They don't know the BS that goes on behind it. You've dealt with it. It's funny to me. And as a guy that has had to fight that throughout his entire career, because I was told that I'm supposed to be objective. I was told that say what you feel. I was told, unearth the truth. So then when I do that, you don't want it sometimes. And it doesn't fly. I'm sorry. That's not what I'm here for. I tell you guys this all the time, right? You got your fan shows out there. Yes, I am a fan of the Dolphins and the Marlins and the Panthers and the Canes and Inter Miami and the Heat. That's fine. But when they're not doing something right, I'm going to tell you. Now, there are those fan shows out there that they want to paint everything with the sunshine, and I just don't do that. That's just not who I am. I'm not going to do that. Just because I love the team or just because I love Pat Riley doesn't mean I'm not going to tell you when Pat Riley's not doing something right. That's just not what I'm going to do. But that's not what they want you to do on 640, 940, 790, 560, all that kind of stuff. They are terrified of that. And so to tell, the disgust, the fake disgust that I see against Carissa Thompson, when I know for a fact writers and television people, very few radio people, because very few radio people actually really work for stories. But, overall, they've had to cater to teams and misguide, mislead, maybe, underestimate the gravity of something or whatever. And you've covered the team's ass for it because you were working for the team, working for the station that works for the team, working for the TV station that works for the team or with the team. So to me, this is a bunch of crap. And there's a whole bunch of insiders that do favors for agents and agencies and all that kind of stuff. And they sometimes don't put out accurate information on purpose. And I've pointed some of that stuff out here at times. Okay? So to me, I'm not going to sit here and slam Carissa Thompson for something that I understand that what people go through at times. And, it's just so easy to throw that out there when you've never done it, never been at it. Even people that are in our business or just fringe type people that have never had certain opportunities, and they're talking a lot of crap, a lot of shit about something that they don't know about. Is it right what she's doing? No. But there's a lot of stuff that's bad about our business that I've told you about over and over again. And I've experienced it. And I've had to fight it. And that's the reason why I'm here. Because I'm tired of that shit. You know, it's just whatever it is, dude. If it's the dollar or whatever, I tell you what's on my mind. Period. End of story. And just, you know, I just think there's a lot of phoniness going on out there in the media. Yes, sir. What do you got for me?
I was going to ask you, so what do you think, like, the sideline reporters that are coming out now and, like, in this just saving their I mean, their position, their job, basically.
Yeah, they just want to make sure that they have credibility. So they're just, hey, I don't do that, you know, that kind of stuff and all that. But, you know, come on, man. Give me a break, dude. You know,
and downside, they probably have done it.
Some of them have. Not all.
I know
Not all,
that,
but some I'm sure have.
As you said, they're not gonna send it to you and you go, well, the coach didn't talk to me. Back to you.
Right. Coach blew me off.
I won't be here next week.
Coach told me to go F myself. He doesn't want to talk.
So apparently, Awful Announcing reached out to Amazon because that's who she's with now.
Right.
And they're like, she was telling a story from 15 years ago. And then they just said, I guess that's a no.
Right. Yeah.
Because why is she gonna cover it now? Like, what does she get from all this?
Nothing.
She's getting more from this and for Amazon than anything else. Because everybody, I guarantee you, was tuning in last night to see.
Now they all know Carissa. Oh, they were.
Yeah.
They were all on social media. Well, is Carissa going to address it? Is Carissa going to address it? Is Carissa going to address it? And I love how all these people think, you know, they all act like high and mighty, and they work for all these dirty companies. You know, what a joke. It's just like, it's just the phoniness is at levels that are just crazy. Anyway. Dr. Billum Narcissus or Narcisse. Thank you, my brother. Good morning, Big O. Thank you for the love on the super chat. Very nice of you, sir. Steve Chapman first in. How about that? We're ready to get it back. And although Jamie Zorria also is in there from San Jose. Let's see. QBs are falling by the minute. Stay smart, too. Remember to smash the like button, people. Fins up. You know, I'm glad you brought that up because it's something that we talked about, you know, so many times. And again, this is where a lot of times our show separates ourselves from the general media because again, it's funny. You want to pick on Carissa, right? But let me write a article that creates buzz, even though there's no truth to it. Let me create more drama, more sensationalism. Writers do this all the time, right? Oh, you got to trade for Dalvin Cook. He'll put you over the top. Sensationalism. You know, why aren't the Dolphins interested in DJ Fluker? Well, how come they don't give you the real answer? We do. Right? You know, it's just all these kind of things that go on. They have offensive line issues. They should go get Leo Collins. Just, you know, drama to build it all up. All right? So Tua has some injuries, right? Oh, that's it. He's injury prone. He can't play. He'll never last in this league, right? That's all they said, right? What approach did we take? Now that I saw him, now that I watched him, what did I say? Hey, you know what, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Tua can play for 15, 20 years. In the middle of all the injuries, I'm telling you he can play for 15 years. Do you know why? What did I say? What did I follow up with? Get rid of the ball, kid. And then I went back to all his injuries. Did the media do that? Did anybody do that? Nobody. We timed all of his injuries, the hip injury, the concussions, the 2 ankle injuries. What did we tell you? You remember? It was between 3.85 seconds to 5.1 seconds. And then I pointed out Marino 100 times over. Get rid of the ball, get rid of the ball. Marino made a living of that. So everybody took the attitude, the media took the attitude, oh, he's always injured, he's injury prone, he's always going to break down. And I'm the only guy in the media that said, no. His problem is that he's not playing smart football. He's playing stupid football. He's holding on to the ball too long. He's not Ben Roethlisberger and Cam Newton and Josh Allen that can sit back there and take a beating. Drew Brees never did that. Bob Greasy never did that. Tom Brady never did that. Peyton Manning never did that. Dan Marino never did that. Joe Montana never did that. They all got rid of the ball. They didn't hold on to the ball. They lived for the next play. But it's sensationalist to go out. Now, part of it is ignorance and part of it is sensationalism. But we didn't take that approach here. We never took that approach here. We told you that if he played like he's playing today, this whole year, that he can last forever that way. Anybody can get injured in football. Freakish shit happens all the time. And it's happened to Tua. But it's going to happen to Tua if he holds on to the ball more often. It can happen to anybody at any time, at any second in a game. Injuries are normal in this league, unfortunately. Watch it last night. Mark Andrews, done for the year. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But this is it's funny that, this whole Carissa Thompson thing and all that. And then, meanwhile, we have media members all over the place that are bullshitting you all the time. Oh, no, the Dolphins are interested to trade for Dalvin Cook. What did we tell you? No, they're not. They're not trading for Dalvin Cook. Oh, the Dolphins are going to scoop up Dalvin Cook. They all lied to you about that. Just like Carissa Thompson. They all lied to you. Every one of them that told you, go back and look at all those articles. Anybody that ever said the Dolphins were interested in trading for Dalvin Cook or they were going to pounce on Dalvin Cook the second he became they all lied to you. They lie all the time. And now they want to sit there and throw rocks at Carissa Thompson. It sells papers to say Belichick is going to get fired in the middle of a season. Can you guys hear me? No, everybody, dude, when they can't hear me, they'll say it. They'll say it. But, that's probably maybe, dude, 67. Dude, raise up the volume. Volume up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dude 67, something's going on with him there. By the way, dude 67, I hope you're feeling better, bro. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, since you have multiple decades of experience, yes, I'm an old fart. In sports journalism, what is your advice for Carissa Thompson as her story grows? She is most likely being asked to apologize. What's her move? She screwed up in saying it because, people aren't going to understand it the way I would. I would be honest. I would continue with the honesty. And I would say, hey, guys, what are you going to do when a coach doesn't talk to you? What I just explained, Dougie. So the coach knows he has to talk to you. It's his responsibility, the league. Everybody knows it. The PR people, they all said, hey, coach, you're going to talk after this quarter and after this quarter. Okay, you ready? Good. All right, perfect. Thank you. This morning, Joe Rose had X on. Do you think X was on time? Of course not. Do you think it was the PR person's problem? Or it was their fault? No. And then they had to scramble to go find him, right? Because, X coming. Yeah, okay, we're going to try to track him down. Can't control that shit, dude. And if X doesn't want to call Joe, it happens. Sometimes the player doesn't call in, and what's Joe going to do at that point? Whatever, you chalk it up next day. So if I'm Carissa Thompson, I'm saying, listen, guys, what am I supposed to do? The coach comes to me, and I go to talk to the coach. He blows me off. I got to come up with something. What am I going to say in the middle of that broadcast? It's what I told you. I'm not bullshitting you guys. What is she going to say? Well, hey, what did the coach – well, I can. He was really pissed off and blew me off. He didn't want to talk. Back to you guys. That's just a terrible look. So you BSing at the moment. I get it, dude. She's trying to save the team and the league from some embarrassment and herself, in a sense, and her whole spot, and just explain it. Dougie, sometimes it's just better to be just brutally honest, because we're all freaking human beings, dude. And none of us are perfect, and we're all going to screw up. And sometimes we're going to do things that we think it's in the best interest of the situation, and we were wrong. And so am I supposed to fry her for this? Come on, dude. We got a lot more serious things going on. The Joe Burrow lie is way bigger than some stupid ass Carissa Thompson. We got to play better in the second half. What do you want to hear from the coach? What's he going to tell you anyways? Some cliche. Oh, we got to tackle better. Oh, well, we got to block better. Oh, we got to stop turning it over. Well, turnovers are killers. What are you going to hear? The fact that the Bengals didn't tell you that the most important player on both teams, named Joe Burrow, had a bad wrist in his throwing hand, that's the lie that's the one that everybody should be livid about. No, let's go pick on the young lady that brings us sideline material that most of the time is nothing but generic bullshit. The only time anything comes from a sideline is an injury note. That's it. That's all. Nothing is ever said that's memorable unless it's at the end of a game and Sal Palantonio gets, Bart Scart to say, can't wait. That's it. So that, it's just, I just laugh at all of this, dude. I laugh at all of this because I've lived it all. I've watched it firsthand. I've had to fight it for decades. It's just a load of crap. And what they should be doing is going after the Bengals, not Carissa Thompson. Dude 67 says weird shit happens here in Okeechobee. Says I'm not that high yet. Big O, hear me out. 2023 stats thus far. Dalvin Cook, 193 yards, 0 touchdowns. We missed out on our Super Bowl piece. You know it, Chad. He would be the difference maker. He'd put him over the top. Big O is fired up. It's just funny, dude. It's just funny how people make something out of absolutely nothing. And they're all getting so disgusted by it. And meanwhile, here's the Bengals costing people millions of dollars in betting. But no, let's get mad at Carissa Thompson. Jim Gleason says, Big O, I hope the Finns are developing a package where if the defense jams Hill and Waddle at the time in the line, then Tua throws to Claypool or Wilson and 4 wide receivers. Basically, pick your position scheme. Also the running backs, too. So, yeah, I'm sure they are. It's going to be hard to jam those two anyways. Big O, you've always been a straight shooter. You were my favorite radio show host when I used to listen to AM back in the day, 560 to 640, back to 560, and now on YouTube. Thank you, and Sean. Appreciate you. Thank you. Very nice of you, Lenny. Let's see. Morning. Oh, I'm wondering when people are going to start calling Burrow injury prone. Well, Skyler, they should, because that's exactly what he is. He's a sack of injuries, but great player. And Rapid Recovery says 100% agree with narrative of Joe Burrow's always injured. I mean, what else are we going to say? Can you send Cam Wolf a reminder there? Because we need to unleash the Wolf Pack. Let's see. Show some cleavage and nobody will listen to the content. Guaranteed. You're bad. You are bad, Nick. Also, how does the audience believe anything Carissa says going forward? They won't. That's where she screwed up. But she's going to have to explain herself. Now, here's where I got to pick on Carissa Thompson. Okay? And it's nothing personal. It's strictly professional. Okay? Let's be honest now. Absolutely honest. Who's listening to Carissa Thompson for any kind of football insight? She's just a host that drives the show. The insiders are around her. The analysts are around her. And as a sideline person, you're just forwarding information. So let's not get crazy on what Carissa Thompson said she did. And let's also not get crazy because none of you look at Carissa Thompson for true football insight. Let's just be honest now. Because if you do, then you're not a very smart football fan. Because she brings nothing to the table. She's a host. Period. End of story. She drives the show in and out of the breaks. That's it. She's not Diana Rossini. She's not what's the name of the blonde woman that works in basketball? She's an insider. No. She's on ESPN. Short woman, West Coast. Damn it. You know, there are ladies that work in this business that are legit insiders. That, you know, those people, they're connected. They actually know people. And they break some stories and they have insight. No, not Erin Andrews. Erin Andrews, no, she's a host also. God, what's her name, dude? There's only one woman that breaks stories in basketball, bro. What's her name? Because the one from Boston, Jackie, she doesn't really break news anymore, but she was one of them. Like, that woman you listen to, she'll give you insight. Jackie, no, why am I? No. Well, Rachel Nichols actually can get some insight, by the way. No, not Doris Burke. Doris Burke is a play-by-play. Damn it, bro. Yep. She got blonde hair, man. Yeah, she's still with ESPN. She's on the NBA Today show all the time with the Lowe and all those other people, man. What's her name, dude? Whatever. Ramona Shelbourne. Thank you. Ramona Shelbourne and Jackie McMullen. Those are, Jackie McMullen is a badass woman, bro. Like, that's an insider. Carissa Thompson's not. She's a host. So, who's getting information from Carissa Thompson, dude? Nobody. Nobody uses Carissa Thompson as some kind of benchmark for insight or knowledge of football. She's a good-looking woman that does a terrific job driving a show. End of story. That's it. Andrea Kramer, Hall of Famer, legit insider, legit professional that knows about the business. You tell me Andrea Kramer reported this, and I'm going to say she knows her shit. You know, we have women that are insiders that know their stuff. Carissa Thompson's not one of them. Let's just call it like we see it now. Okay? Let's just be honest now. So let's not get crazy about her like she's that important when it comes to information. In fact, she has zero importance when it comes to information. So, Karoon says, yeah, Jackie McMullen is great. I've seen her in sports documentaries. That's when you know you've made it. You know, she's a badass. Jackie McMullen is, you know, she's gold standard, bro. Gold standard. Any of us that have been in the business long enough, you know that Jackie McMullen is a real deal. I would have never put money on Burrow player props if I knew he was hurt. Shaking my head. Yeah. No, I wouldn't have bet the Bengals last night. I wouldn't have taken the 3.5 points if I knew he had a bad wrist in his throwing hand. Huh? Yeah. And by the way, he and you know, I had some guy like, hey, Lamar's numbers were pretty good. And I go, did you watch the game? Like, he missed all the big throws. All the simple stuff, the little short ones that they ran and took a whole bunch of yards. Yeah, he cashed in on those. All the difficult throws last night, he missed all of them. If Burrow plays last night, they lose that game. You know, if Burrow is healthy. If Burrow ever stays healthy. Big O, chances of Mario getting good QB in a portal. Very good chance, dude. He can recruit. I don't know if he'll coach him up to be the best he can be, but he'll recruit him. Yeah. No. Mario will recruit, dude. He's going to land players. I don't know if the players will be the best they can possibly be because of him. Jamie says, Big O, do you remember last year McDaniel mentioned that Teddy B told him told him thoughts start getting hit in the season? I believe Tua getting tossed around in the offseason was a very smart thing. Oh, I see. Well, that was part of the whole jiu-jitsu thing and learning how to fall. So, yeah, no, there's no doubt that all of that helped out for sure. But listen, it already has come into play where he's gotten pushed back and all that, and he's rolled up and learned how to fall. That's fantastic. But let's not kid ourselves. What's working for Tua is that he's getting rid of the football. And when the play is dead, he spikes it. I'm done. And I freaking love it. So that's really, as long as he maintains that attitude, Tua can play for 15 plus years. So I love the way Tua's playing, dude. God, I love the way he's playing. So smart. All Mario needs is a Brock Purdy type. Okay. All right, let's do it. It is time to unleash the wolf pack. Come on, Alarmo.
We unleash the wolf pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Cameron Wolf. How you feeling, my man?
I'm good, How you feeling?
Good. Although we got to touch a couple of really touchy subjects. I don't know how you're going to handle these.
Okay. How touchy?
Very touchy, because being in this business for 33 years, I've seen it all.
Okay.
I remember I told a story where you weren't here. I've told it a couple times on the show over the years. So I know Pat Surtain is not playing in the game. He's out.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my program director, so basically I'm the only media person in the country that knows that Pat Surtain is not playing in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to him, hey, I'm going to report that Pat Surtain's not playing. He tells me, no, you can't. I go, why? And he goes, well, Dave Wannstedt just told Hank Goldberg and the coach, because they would record the coach's show on Thursday and play it on Friday.
Right.
So Friday, I get the information that Pat is out. So I figured, okay. And I always, you know how it is. When you're going to break a story, you got to tell your boss first, and then you can break the story, right?
Yep.
Because that's how it goes. You
Right.
have to clear it through your boss first. So he
Right.
tells me I can't report that. So now I'm lying. I'm not lying because I never said anything. I never reported it. I never touched it. So boom, boom, boom. Because Dave Wannstedt tells Hank, well, he's been practicing on the side and all that. What we're going to do, Hank, is pregame, we're going to put him through a workout. If he's solid, then we'll play him. If not, but he wasn't playing. I knew he wasn't playing. Like it was guaranteed that he wasn't playing.
Right.
So we're lying there. So now everybody's freaking out about Carissa Thompson. And in a way, I kind of understand Carissa Thompson because, okay, you work for NFL Network. You're the sideline guy. You're supposed to talk to the coach. The coach knows. The PR person told the coach. Everything's clear. Boom, boom, boom. The guy's in a bad mood. He blows you off. They throw it to you and say, hey, what did the coach say? Well, he didn't say anything. He was really mad at me, mad at the situation. He walked away. Now you threw the coach under the bus. You threw the team under the bus. You threw the league under the bus. Your boss is pissed because you put all that out there. Instead, she says, well, hey, coach told me they got to play harder. They got to stay away from the turnovers. Back to you guys. So I kind of understand if she bullshitted a little bit to cover up for a coach. Meanwhile, we got Joe Burrow with a wrap on his wrist. Nobody says anything. Busted on film. People are betting all over the place on the Bengals, including yours truly, by the way. It's the only bet I lost last night. I took the Panthers plus 1.5 goals. I took the Heat minus 3.5. I took a parlay of Jaquez over 8.5, Bam over 3.5 assists, and the Heat minus 3. I won everything except that one, okay? Like a lot of other people lost money. So which is a lot. Everybody's freaking about Carissa. I think that's the least of our concerns. I think people should be freaking out more about hiding a Joe Burrow injury. Those are the kind of lies we should be worried about, not so much about Carissa Thompson.
I would say there are issues, right? I think that the Clarissa issues seem to be more of a people in media, first of all, but also people like a trust factor within someone who's supposed to work as a conduit to the fans, right? Like as a sideline reporter, your main job is to get information for the fans, tell the fans something they don't know. You're bringing them behind the scenes. Like my job as a reporter, I've done sidelines a few times, not that many, but I've done sidelines probably 3 games. And the goal is people watching at home want to know information. You bring
information. That's it.
Information, access, take me behind the scenes, tell me stuff. The best sideline reports are either injury reports or you're telling me something that we don't see on camera. Somebody yelled at somebody after they came off the field when they overthrew him on a pass or he dropped a pass. The weather's picking up. I'm standing on the sideline and there's 4 inches of rain in my shoes. Things that will affect the game, those are information you're having. And so I trust you at your word when you're saying that. I think when you start to think about what Carissa said, it's about the trust of those particular comments. As far as Joe Burrow and the Bengals, we know that teams have always been elusive and trying not to tell you the information in regards to injury. Yes, gambling in fantasy football has made them harder to skirt the rules, but how often do you hear a coach essentially lie to you or give you take you down a line that's not true about an injury?
All the time.
Just for
all the time.
Competitive advantage.
Dave Wannstedt goes to me, everything's all right. Yeah, no, everything good with the Daryl Gardner? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
We find out 2 hours later,
Like your story is
he's
perfect
in the
example.
hospital with an epidural.
Right. It doesn't mean that it's right, but this is something that is long standing. And we've kind of accepted it as, hey, we cannot take the coach's word as the word. That's why injury reports became a thing, because coaches could just say, hey, he's day to day. I'm not sure. He's not going to play, or he is going to play.
We got reporters that bullshit for agents.
Right. But
all the time. We got insiders that are constantly lying to people, saying that reporter is getting. But a lot of times players getting interest because the agents tell, hey, do me a favor and say that and why? Because the agent will then feed that insider something. My point is
that is true, but I would say the
difference between constantly lying to the public. Let's not make it like Carissa Thompson is the center of the universe on this. Let's be honest now, none of us use Carissa Thompson for any kind of insight on football. Yeah. She's simply a host that drives a show. Hosts that drive shows, we do not care what they say. They're there to bring us in and out of the breaks. That's it, dude. So let's not make it sound like Carissa Thompson is Ramona Shelbourne. You know what I'm saying? That is Andrea Kramer. You know, that are legitimate reporters.
But I would say this though. In her current role with Amazon, she's a host. Yeah. What she's speaking about is sideline reporter, who are the women that you're talking about. Your Andrea Kramers, your Ramona Shelburnes, your Lisa Salters. Lisa Salters tweeted about it yesterday. She hadn't tweeted since March. She was clearly upset. She hadn't tweeted since March.
If anybody has ever met Lisa Salters, you know that's a pro. Okay, like that's the pinnacle of being a pro is Lisa Salters. Right. You know what I mean? Because all you have to do is watch her, because I've seen her, I know her, I've talked to her. She's amazing, dude. She's fantastic.
And so that's where I think probably the anger came from. And to be honest, I thought she's a real. And that's the key. We don't look at her like that's where I want to separate the you hit it on the nose. You hit it on the nose, because I think a lot of the reaction I saw on social media was actually from women. And it was that general thought that, hey, women have a hard time generally being treated serious as a reporter. A lot of times women feel like they are being put on that stage because they look pretty, or because they're just, putting traffic from one guy to the next, right? Rather than, hey, I actually have value in this particular platform.
And by the way, I want to call that bullshit in a sense, because I want you to know that most of us men in the business, we respect the hell out of the women that actually really do it, like some of the names I just mentioned. That's why I'm being honest. This whole Carissa Thompson thing, give me a break, dude.
Right.
She's not an insider. I don't look at her for anything, dude.
You're right. I think the issue is less about her and more about like making sure people value, because the initial reaction, and I got it throughout social media, was that, oh, well, why do we even do this role? It's a worthless role. We don't really use it for anything anyway. And then you get all the sideline reporters like Lisa and all those folks saying, man, now this is denigrating our role because of this. It's less about what we care about her and her particular situation. It's more like this puts a negative view on the role. Like even yesterday,
Hartung
did a great job. She's a great reporter. And
now Hartung's been in news. She's been in entertainment, and she's been in sports. Okay, because she's bounced back and forth. She's a pro, dude. She's been all over the place.
Yes, and so she did a really good job. She's done it really for the last couple of weeks. Last week she had the Treylon Burks situation, and Treylon Burks wasn't moving. She gave us perfect updates this week for Joe Burrow as well, providing us with updates. And I get it. There's access that the broadcaster, the network gets from the team to deliver information. So that is a part of it. But she did an excellent job of being precise and articulate with it. And I tweeted out some of her reports, and I got 5 responses. All of them were like, how do we know she's not making it up? How do we know she's not fabricating it? Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, obviously it's a fair joke, given that it just happened today, but you start to clearly have in the public a mind that, well, we probably shouldn't believe them. Didn't you hear Charissa? She said that, hey, they make stuff up. So they all make stuff up. Why should we believe them? And so that to me is the dangerous part of that.
Yeah. The only thing is, I think you and I have been in this long enough to decipher.
Yes. And that's why I say it doesn't affect you and I, but we have more understanding of the business and the industry. I'd say 95% of viewers do not. They're only going to see what we give them
the
or what's taken. And so, yeah, for us, we're probably like, it is. She's just one person and it doesn't tarnish the role. But I'd say the general public who is consuming the role, this does negatively affect the role, which I think is why we saw all of the outrage.
Yeah. And I think a lot of women that are in the business, they understand that those of us that are in the business, we know exactly who's who and all that kind of stuff. And it's just an interesting story when we have the whole Bengals thing with Joe Burrow, and that's the one that there should be.
Yeah.
I mean, an absolute
and it sounds like
outrage.
the league's investigating now. Like the league said they're investigating. And to be fair, the league's, I don't know what they're going to do, but the league investigated the Falcons with Bijan Robinson when he ended up coming to the game and was sick on Saturday or Sunday, didn't play. All the fantasy football folks were in outrage. How could Bijan Robinson only get, one touch? And he played, but he didn't play as much as people thought. And they did an investigation about it. And so clearly the gambling and the fantasy football element has put more pressure on the league to be hard on teams in an area that we kind of just for a while just said, you know what, we're gonna get BS by coaches, and we got to do our best to wade through it and get the real stuff.
Okay,
for example, I'll leave this as a brief thing here. Mm-hmm. Mike McDaniel is actually really good with injuries, probably better than most coaches. And being honest, he is still being purposely vague on Devon Achane, although I know that he will be playing on Sunday, right? There's a lot of, and maybe some of that is caution just in case you don't want to put a guy to where he's set back, but he is not.
He made the trip to Germany.
Yes.
You gave it away already.
Right.
Dude.
Same with Teron Armstead. He told Teron Armstead made the trip to Germany last week. I knew on Monday he was playing, but McDaniel left it vague. It's just something that coaches do. Half to protect their players, half for competitive reasons so that they don't give a head start to their opponents.
Okay, so if it's good for Tua, okay, well, then we got to do it now for this guy, right? Okay, Well, yeah, the Bengals are going to be good if Joe Burrow can stay healthy. The Bengals can make the play. Yeah, if Joe Burrow can stay healthy. Hey, the Bengals can make it to the Super Bowl if Joe Burrow can stay healthy.
Right.
But he misses more games than Tua. I mean, why isn't that just building? And I get it. When you have a great quarterback or a really good one or whatever you consider, you got to deal with the injuries because they're hard to find. That's why I would laugh at people who would say, oh, we got to find another quarterback. Oh, yeah, really? You're going to find another one better than Tua? Get the hell out of here, you idiot. I mean, come on. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Everybody says. So is it official now? Joe Burrow is injury prone, correct?
It's a good question. If you look at his history, he's had what
NFL history.
Yes.
NFL history.
His NFL history is, what was it, first season?
Broken leg.
He tore his ACL. He tore his ACL. He played like 6 or 7 games, and he was out for the season. I don't know if he had any otherwise, but I do know he had at the beginning of each of the last 2 seasons, he had an appendectomy last year, I believe, that caused him to miss all training camp, but he was back for week 1. This year, he had a calf injury or something of that sort, and he didn't miss any time. He came back for week 1, but he was clearly limited, right? To me, those are the 3 I know, and then this one, right? And so from game action wise, I don't think that he's missed a ton of time outside of that rookie year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has shown a propensity to get hurt. So it's kind of how you qualify missed games versus having to play less than 100% through injuries, because he's definitely had to miss significant training camp time to do that.
Yes, I'm just saying. I mean, if you're going to label to a injury prone, and it's funny because you were on with me during the whole thing. And in the middle of all those injuries, I said, Tua can play for 15 years. What he has to do is what? Get rid of the football. I pointed out all of his injuries were between 3.85 seconds and 5.1 seconds.
Right.
And now what's he doing? he's getting rid of the damn football, bro.
Yep.
And, to me, by the way, it's game started 10 the first year and 10 this year.
Right. Well, 10, he started every game this year.
Yeah, but he's missed some of it.
Right. So. Well, he hasn't. This is the first one he's missed time this year because of injury, but we're guessing that he's probably going to miss some time going forward. So he technically hasn't missed any quote unquote game time, I think, since his rookie year, but this is the fourth injury he's had since he's been a pro, the fourth injury that's significantly slowed him down.
And I want to say that even in the 2 years in between, I want to say he didn't finish a couple of games. I don't know why. He might have started it. That's because here it's got him starting all 10 games, but really,
And in the second and third year, did he start all 16 or 17? However many it was?
It says 16. It does.
Gotcha. But yeah, maybe he got banged up.
I wonder if he finished all 16 because that's what it doesn't tell you. You know what I mean? But the injuries are starting to pop up all the time with him. So
yeah,
it's just kind of interesting that people bring it up. This Raiders team, are you? It's hard for me to look at them and be like they have players, like they have offensive weapons. But when I look at Aiden O'Connell against that secondary, I'm just this is a game that Miami should handle, correct?
Oh, absolutely. They should win this game. There's no question. This will be a disappointment if they lost this game. Now, I will tell you, there's something about momentum, right? The Raiders are riding this wave. Whether it ends this week or not, they're riding a wave of they fired their coach. They're getting galvanized by a guy that they feel like is one of them, and Antonio Pierce. And they've been playing better because of it. And so those teams are dangerous because they have sort of irrational belief. They have belief that now we are different than the team that got our coach fired in the first half of the year. Reality is at some point it'll probably come crashing down. Whether this week is the time, I think depends on how the Dolphins treat.
Well, they faced no offenses the last 2 weeks. That's the thing. Now they're going to face one of the three best offenses in the NFL.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then the quarterback's going to be facing a secondary that is.
Yeah. Okay. You got Jalen Ramsey, you got Xavier Howard, Javon Holland on that end. It's going to be something that Aiden O'Connell's never seen before. Ever. I don't know where to go to college, Purdue, something like that. They weren't having DBs out there in the Big Ten. I think that you're looking at a situation where I want to see the Dolphins come out fast. The only thing that worries me here is if they treat this game like the Panthers game, where I don't think they look down on the Raiders because the Raiders have won a couple in a row. They're 5-5. They have more respect than the Panthers did. But if you remember that Panthers game, Mike McDaniel tried hard to get his guys up for that game. Hey, it's just like another opponent, and then they jumped out down 14-0. You jump down 14-0 on this Raiders team. They can make it ugly. They can run Josh Jacobs, which slows down the game. And then you get into a really nasty, grimy game where you got to not make mistakes to win. That's the one thing. If the Dolphins come out hot, they score the first touchdown, they get a 3-and-out, I'm not worried. They have the firepower. They have the talent that they should be able to comfortably beat this team. And the reality is the Dolphins coming off the bye, they should be refreshed. They're coming off a loss. They want to come back out and have a big showcase to show, all the folks who are questioning, are the Dolphins for real, what they truly can be. Because it has been a little bit since we've seen the explosiveness, the top-end explosiveness of that offense. And now that they're healthy enough, probably minus Robert Hunt, that you're going to see ideally what this team can do in the run game and in the pass game. So this feels like, to me, a good opportunity for them to throw up 35-plus points on the board and have a nice, comfortable win.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf, baby. And, of course, catch his work there at the NFL Network. Cam, as always, have a good weekend. Enjoy the game.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. There you go, Cameron Wolf. And don't forget, call our friends at KSDT CPAs, 305-670-3370. Tax, advisory, assurance, accounting. They do it all. And again, if you are looking for work, they're hiring in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, and we have a new office in North Carolina. Use that QR code there to do your taxes. Maybe you're a little late and you want to catch up. Call the folks at KSDT CPAs, man. They will walk you through it
and walk your business through it. Year-end tax planning, payroll, sales, and tax reporting. They got it all, state, local tax consulting. They can help you out. Doesn't matter what kind of forms, from 5,500 to 990, estate and trust. They handle it all. Reach out to our friends at KSDT CPAs, 305-670-3370.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. Hour number 2 is next. We will switch gears and talk a little Canes football with Manny Navarro and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Yes, sir. The Canes headed down the stretch. 2 games left. See what they get going here against Louisville. They're actually favored against Louisville, the number 9 team in the country. Manny Navarro ready to go. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Does it make sense that Miami is favored with a wounded starting quarterback that hasn't looked good? I'm confused. Aren't they the number 9 team in the country and Miami's unranked?
Well, it's just Vegas always seems to know something, don't they, Big O? I mean, it doesn't make sense right now based on the way these teams have been playing, with Louisville playing at its best. But look, last week they looked shaky against a 2-win team in Virginia, right? They didn't play necessarily too well. They lost to Pittsburgh, who just picked up their 3rd win last night. So this is a Louisville team that has underwhelmed as well at times this year and hasn't necessarily always played its best. I will say this: I don't think Louisville's ever won a game in Miami. So, I think Vegas believes that this is an upset possibility. So that's why Miami's favored by 1.
I'm baffled, bro. And then your thoughts on continuing with Tyler Van Dyke?
Yeah, I think a lot of it probably has to do with Ja'Carri Brown and either the coaching staff not having the confidence in him that he can get the job done as a passer, or he's already made up his mind that he's entering the transfer portal at the end of the year and doesn't want to get hurt. So to me, I think that probably has a lot to do with why the choice was made pretty quickly to go back to Tyler. I thought, again, right after the game was over, just as Mario was talking about Emory Williams, breaking his left arm, he also said, "Well, we have a great guy who's a good leader, ready to step in Tyler Van Dyke." So it's almost like it wasn't even a thought in his mind really to make it a competition with Jakari Brown. Is what my point is. So, to me, I think I'm leaning towards the latter. That Jakari Brown is probably leaving, although I have no intel to suggest that. Nobody has told me he is 100% leaving. So
That's interesting.
mhm.
Wow. And not good also, because then that's Jakari looking at the situation going, yeah, I don't want to be here. I don't like this place, or I don't like what they're doing here. Uh,
Well,
and then the flip side is, my God, they've got to go find quarterbacks.
yeah,
Oh,
I think that's the reality. That's the reality of it. All is unfortunately in today's game with the transfer portal and NIL, the doors open every year. It's like free agency, and you have to sort of rebuild your roster. I think that's the one thing that a lot of us who have been doing this for a long time are still getting accustomed to, right? That you could have, aside from your 25, 26 man recruiting class, you could have 20 more transfers on top of that, or 15 more transfers on top of that, and every year you're shuffling in 40 new guys, whereas before you were developing guys, and the transfers rarely happen. So I think you just have to start to get used to the fact that that's the way college football is.
yeah. I mean, it's just, that's, well, we'll see if have you heard any names or anything? Because
Well, I mean,
I'm almost more interested at what quarterback you're going to bring in than anything that's going to happen the next two games.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of possibilities out there. I think Michael Pratt, who is a hometown kid at Tulane, he's done a lot of winning over there with Tulane. Tulane's been one of the best Group of 5 schools. He's got another year of eligibility. I know some people have talked about him maybe going to the NFL. I think that's the kind of kid that's a perfect target for Miami, right? You bring him home, you let him be your bridge quarterback until a guy like Emory Williams is ready, or until you're able to maybe bring in another transfer, right, or somebody else that maybe needs a year of seasoning. One name that's interesting that popped up recently here in the last couple of days is Dante Moore, who's the freshman quarterback at UCLA. Chip Kelly is supposedly on his way out at UCLA. Dante Moore is a 5-star quarterback recruit from the last cycle who was very much involved with Miami throughout the process early on. Right after Mario got the job, he came down here a couple times. So that's an interesting name that's sort of on the radar. A couple of other ones that I'll throw out there that don't necessarily, again, this is me speculating who would be a good fit here. I think Cam Ward from Washington State, who Washington State earlier this year was ranked. He's a guy who's played a lot of football. He's kind of like a De'Aaron King type in the sense of playing at a lower level Power 5 program, or Houston, like he was at Houston. Ward doesn't necessarily make as many plays as De'Aaron King with his legs, but he's not immobile, and he's a playmaker. He's gonna score points for you and make plays. So to me, I think those are guys that I would throw out there as potential possibilities, and there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more guys that have South Florida connections, or Florida connections that maybe aren't playing where they're playing. And to me, I think Miami probably goes out and gets if Tyler Van Dyke leaves after this year and Jakari Brown, you're definitely going out and getting 2 transfer quarterbacks, signing a freshman, and bringing back Emory Williams, so that you have four possibilities in my mind.
Wow, that's, man. I got to tell you, this quarterback situation has been really kind of twisted, unfortunately, for the Canes. All right, so we look at these last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a successful season if they win one of the 2, both? How do we look at it? Because it's kind of what I thought. I think you were in the same boat as me, 7 or 8 wins.
Yeah, I said 7 to 5.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of what they were supposed to be. Is that the way we look at it? But you have to win.
Yeah, I think.
Right?
Yeah, I think the problem when you look at this season as a whole, right? You say, man, if they just had a quarterback who didn't, if Tyler Van Dyke just doesn't go what he went through, then this team probably wins 9 or 10 games, right? If he's the Tyler that we saw from a couple of years ago. So that's the disappointing part for Miami. It's the defense played a lot better than I think any of us anticipated. They're one of the best. I mean, they are the best run defense in the ACC. They're a top 10 run defense. They're one of the best defenses in the country. That's the kind of job that Lance Guidry has done with that unit. So I think the disappointment is that they're not going to finish better than that. But, look, if they win tomorrow against Louisville and they beat a top 10 team and they beat Texas A&M, who's one of the top 5 most talented teams in the country, and they beat Clemson, who's been the king of the ACC, and you beat Boston College, who's now lost 2 in a row to end the season, and you finish 8-4, as much as it sucks that Miami went through what it went through and lost those games, you still feel pretty good, right? At the end of the year, if they finish 8-4, you're like, okay, that's kind of what we thought they would be. And they had some pretty notable wins that this program hasn't had in the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense, man.
Yeah.
But and the thing is, I don't think they win this week. I think they win next week.
Yeah, I'm with you. And Boston College, I mean, they've been a mess on defense all year long. Thomas Castellanos has been a nice story for him at quarterback, but that they're kind of running out of steam there. Jeff Hafley is with what he has. So I think next week is definitely the more winnable game. But I wouldn't put it past Mario and Miami to do this because for some reason, they show up against good teams. They show up against the good teams. They don't show up against the teams that they should beat. So that's kind of been the Miami formula for a long time now. So they could show up tomorrow and play great defense, get some turnovers, and then they're on the other side of it, right? Where they're forced. And look, Louisville's got some guys that have played banged up for the last few weeks. Jamari Thrash, their number 1 receiver, has been banged up. Their top running back, Jawar Jordan, isn't running the same because of a hamstring injury. So it's not like Louisville's coming in here piping hot or something and a top 10 team in the country. So.
Yeah. And do you think they'll be able to control the ball on the ground? Because I would imagine with the shape that Tyler Van Dyke's in, Miami and their offensive line and their running backs, that has to be the key to this game for them on the offensive side of the ball. They must control the line of scrimmage and run for 200 yards tomorrow because, one, you keep them off the field.
Yeah.
And 2, you protect your quarterback, who you probably don't want him throwing too much. You want him only making a couple of throws. You know what I mean? Kind of, you almost want to make him the 2016 version of the Broncos, I think it was. Was it 16 when Peyton Manning couldn't throw more than 10 yards? And that and that running game, I kind of, it's almost like you've got to try to make him that Peyton Manning, where you only need to make a couple of throws for us. We got to control everything else and help you out. I almost feel like if you don't do that, I don't know how you win that game, to be quite honest.
You're right. And I think maybe what you do in this game is you kind of have one read, and if it's not there, you get rid of it, throw it away. And maybe that's the kind of game that you have where Tyler Van Dyke only completes 45-50% of his passes, but as long as he doesn't turn the ball over and you're able to run the ball and every now and then hit on a throw, you don't have to do it consistently, but just hit on one every now and then.
Keep the chains moving.
That game. Yeah. So to me, you run it on 1st and 2nd, and you let Tyler throw it on 3rd, if it's 3rd and 5 or longer. You try to play one of those conservative game plans, which they can do. And again, this defense, it's good enough to beat Louisville. This Louisville offense has done well because of its backs, Isaac Garendo and Jawar Jordan, as I mentioned. They run the ball really well, but I think this Miami front is good enough to get the job done.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. What do you think? What do you got? What's your prediction?
I should be going with Louisville, but because Vegas has thrown me off by favoring Miami, I'm going to pick the Canes to win this game 27-24.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. What do you got going on in the Athletics so folks can check you out?
Well, we've had a lot of recruiting coverage. We did a couple podcasts this week. One of them, sort of a big national perspective, Stars Matter. You can go and listen to that there. I wrote a big SEC recruiting overview. Florida, by the way, is getting hit pretty hard by decommitments. The Gators are while we're complaining about the Hurricanes down here. Billy Napier in Florida are bleeding right now. They're losing a lot of recruits, which is good for Miami because you remember Miami opens next season against Florida. that's going to be their first game. So we'll spend the summer talking about that game. But so there's lots to read there. I wrote a column on the Canes not too long ago. So there's plenty to read at The Athletic. A lot of great national coverage.
You got it. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, as always, appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. We'll catch up after the game.
Yep. All right, take care, buddy.
You got it, my man. There you go. Don't forget, you can use our code BIGO10 at Caneswear so you can get 10% off online. Okay, and remember, online, if you order over $99, you'll get free shipping. And, of course, if you go in personally, use our code BIGO10, you will get 10% off at Caneswear.com. All right.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. Yeah. Oh, got a little. You got my feedback there?
Why'd the mic turn on?
Isn't this my mic here, number 4? Okay. All right. Now you got the feedback out. Okay. Good stuff. Jeffrey Tarabolis with us. KSDT CPAs. There it is. You got to take that Caneswear thing off. But anyway, how you doing, man? You feeling good? Wait a minute. Hold on. There we go.
I am feeling great. Can't complain. Working like crazy. I thought, after the October 15th deadline, I have a little bit of peace, but it's not at all, man. We're doing tax planning. We are going out meeting clients. I just came back from Charlotte this week, and it's just been crazy.
Were you surprised with the CPI numbers this week?
Yeah. Do
you think the quantitative tightening has really worked? Because a lot of people thought we would get one more bump, one more quarter point.
I'm actually surprised. On the things I'm surprised about is that crypto hasn't really gone up the way I thought it would be at this point. It hasn't gone up as much as I thought. I thought it would go up much more.
No, the ETFs haven't been approved yet.
Yeah.
Remember, once the ETFs are approved, then they're all going to be buying billions of crypto in order to fund those ETFs. That's when it'll explode.
Yeah.
But Avalanche is up like 140% in
the last. I must be in the wrong stuff because my account hasn't moved as much as I wanted it to.
Polygon. Are you sure?
Yeah, but it's been.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm not sure what you're looking at. Let's see. Let me go over this. Where are we at? Okay, Cosmos in the last month 42%. Cardano last month 45%.
Yeah. I just thought we'd be higher. I mean, I'm waiting for that big jump, dude.
Well, but that's not till the beginning of the year. You know that, and then the ETFs have to be approved.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll happen. Polygon 54%.
Yeah.
In the last month. HBAR. I'm a big HBAR guy. Last month 30%. Avalanche. I'm a big Avalanche guy. 125%.
Yeah.
In the last month. I'm a big Chainlink guy. Last month 78%.
Yeah.
You need any tips here, bro? Illuvium, one of my favorites. The last month, 98%.
I guess I'm expecting those gigantic, crazy moves that we were
you're
seeing
talking about
before.
2019, 2020. Yeah. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Because the halving hasn't hit yet.
Yeah.
That's what we're in a couple. I actually think we've pumped more than I expected.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now. And that's only because of the ETFs.
Yeah.
The buzz of it, the smart people that are buying crypto right now, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, because we got Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs coming.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know it, dude.
Yeah.
If BlackRock and ARK and T. Rowe Price and Fidelity and all these people are getting into it, there's a reason.
Yeah, it's going to blow up.
It's going, and that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When the billions come in.
Yeah.
And that's where anybody that's actually been buying the bottom from like 3 months ago, because the bottom's not now. People are lying to you. The bottom was 3 months ago. It's been going up ever since.
I was just expecting my account to, when I look at the balance in my account, I was expecting it to be double what it is today.
Do you have a variety of coins, or are you limited?
I have about four different ones.
All right, so you got Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the other two?
Avalanche, I think I have.
Oh God,
yeah. The
numbers are awesome.
Yeah, and then is it ADA, which is
ADA? Yeah, Cardano's moved a little
Cardano,
bit. Yeah, and Cardano, I still think it's in a monster buying position right now. Still, Avalanche. No, you had to buy Avalanche when it went down to $8, $9, $10. Now it's it's $23, $22 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, those of us that bought it at the bottom, you're about to triple it.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's moved. It's actually look at the stock market compared to the crypto market.
Oh yeah, stock markets.
We have decoupled.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Bitcoin has complete what we expected to happen, and what Satoshi built Bitcoin for is finally now happening. As fiat currencies are crumbling all over the world, Germany today, one of their officials was like, "We need to make Bitcoin a official currency of Germany, because it's going to become an official currency all over the world." And that's exactly why Satoshi made it 15 years ago, because of what happened in the 2008 crisis back then.
I gotta understand also with oil got crushed yesterday.
Yeah.
I gotta see how that. I'm in a lot of oil stuffs that hurt.
Oh yeah. Oil went down. How much went yesterday?
A lot. I just know that everything was down on my portfolio.
Yeah. Oil affects everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It's truly amazing. So although here's walk us through this, because here's my theory. It's not going to be as popular because people like to politicize it, and I'm not a Biden guy. Okay, I'm not a Biden guy. I'm not a Trump guy. But a lot of our inflation issues aren't necessarily about our government and the way they're doing things. I think Walmart's got you paying this price. They don't feel like lowering it anymore. Amazon's got you paying this price. Why am I going to lower it? McDonald's got you paying this price. Why am I going? And so nobody's lowering their prices.
Well,
they're not lowering the gas prices. They're not lowering the delivery prices. They're not lowering the goods. So then the main products, they're not lowering either. And so that's why us, the consumer, we're paying more. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have such high numbers also.
Well, I think the biggest driver why I think no one's lowering prices is labor. Labor's so expensive. It's so hard to find.
Right. Yeah. And it's definitely, you guys are hiring in every office.
Yeah. And we can't find enough people.
Nobody can.
I just hired an internal recruiter yesterday for us, and, doing things that we didn't need to do in the past.
Outside of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to find. And then, my clients are wanting to get lower fees, but I'm like, I can't. Everything is much more expensive. It's crazy.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of what I think has gone on. It's kind of everybody else is kind of contributing to all of this. It's not necessarily, we all want to blame it on the government, which is really easy for us to do, but I kind of think we're all contributing to.
Absolutely. It's a vicious cycle, it's how do we get off the roller coaster kind of.
Yeah. So what are you telling your business clients that own businesses? What are you telling them about 2024? Because we still have people that think it's going to be a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Obviously an election year, so they'll do their own infusion. But at the same time, you have some people that still think that there'll be a recession in 2024. So how is KSDT CPAs looking at it?
I always kind of take the more conservative, more negative view to be ready. That way you're not surprised by when stuff happens.
Prepare for the worst
and hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
Absolutely. That's kind of my philosophy. Maybe it's a conservative accountant kind of philosophy, but I am looking for that soft landing kind of by June, and then things really ramping up before the election. Yeah, like always.
Yeah.
So just telling my it's funny, labor wise.
So you think rate cuts start in June?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Right. And I labor wise, you can't advise your client, hey, be careful hiring too many people, because it's like such a hard thing to find. It's like you can never tell them to stop doing that, but maybe making huge inventory investments, different things like that. Maybe be a little bit cautious with that kind of stuff. Not really go crazy until after June.
Okay. All right. There you go. All right. Good stuff there. Hiring wise, talk to us a little bit about what you guys are doing, what you're offering, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, and even in Charlotte.
Absolutely. So we just had an amazing culture. I think that nobody can beat, right? We had our company picnic Friday last week.
I wish we could have been there.
Yeah,
man.
it was a fun time. We had 350 people at our company picnic, all the families and everything. We had our Thanksgiving lunch yesterday. We've just added a firm in Boca, and they joined us, and it's been a really good time for us. We're having a good time. What we're doing, we love coming to work, and we love what we're doing, and that's the attitude we want to have. I mean, it's people before anything else, then clients, then profits, I guess you could say.
How'd it go with the Thursday night game?
Yeah, we're having a good time. We're not doing it every Thursday night, but a couple Thursdays here, we're watching the Thursday night game and stuff, and it's fun.
All right, we're gonna.
I don't
know about Sean, but I'm gonna come down because I'm close by.
We get wings from all the great places around here and stuff, so it's
I'm gonna come by and join you guys for one of the Thursdays, and I'll just have my phone next to me, working the Hard Rock app and live betting.
Oh, I've been doing that too.
Live betting is the best.
I got killed last night though. The 2 injuries, Andrews.
Well, not for the Heat. I made a killing.
Oh yeah.
When it got to point, like you're giving me points because they took like a little lead, and I got at one point I got 0.5 for the Heat because I initially started with giving 3.5.
Yeah.
Then I gave 1.5, and then it got to plus half a point and plus 1.5 points.
Wow.
And so I just doubled and tripled my bet at that point because I knew they wanted revenge. Because they had just lost to them, and it was their 4th game in a row that they lost. They dropped to 1-4. So I almost felt like this was for sure a game that they were going to win and win by the points.
Do you ever play the player props? I love the player props.
Yeah. I played a parlay yesterday. I took the Heat minus 3.5, Jaquez over 8.5, and Bam over 3.5 assists. It didn't pay a lot, but I felt great about the parlay. So I want to win, so I won. I don't care about
I got killed in all the player props last night because of the injuries, because Burrow getting hurt, because Andrews getting hurt.
I lost this. That was the one game I lost was Cincinnati. I didn't bet a lot in the Cincinnati. I didn't keep betting because of the struggles early on. And then I saw the whole thing with the wrist, but I did lose the bet because I took the Bengals plus 3.5.
Yeah.
I think they would have easily won that game if Burrow was healthy.
I took that same bet, and I got the over. So that was cool.
Yeah, and I took the Panthers last night plus 1.5 goals.
That's cool.
So I picked up the half goal.
I've never done well betting hockey. I don't know what it is. I just
well,
can't win.
the tip I always have for people is when you have the dog for 1.5 goals, if the teams are pretty close, dude, there'll be an empty netter, or they'll always, if it's going to be a tight game, you're going to win by that half goal. And that's what I did last night, that you'll get that 1 goal.
Yeah.
And hell, I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have won the game last night, in LA. But I was comfortable taking the 1.5 goals, and I got lucky. So, it went well. The Hard Rock app is fun.
I like it. That's a cool little
The
thing.
live betting is the best. That's what I tell everybody. Be very conservative with your initial bet.
Yeah.
Wait till the game starts. Then you have more substance to work with, and you know what's going on. And then you get a better feel for the line when it starts to move.
I got to do more of the live betting. I haven't done much of it.
It's the best.
Really.
It's the best, because then you start getting that once. So I started the game giving 3.5. Once you start giving me points and I'm the Heat, and I already felt like they're going to win, I'm doubling and I'm backing it. It's like what we do when you're buying Avalanche at 15, but then when you buy it at 10, you're buying a lot more than you bought at 15. And when it follows the 9 or 8, you're like, oh, I got to get even more than that. You know what I mean? Because that's how you bounce back even stronger.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the way you got to do it. Live betting is the best.
I'm going to try more of that.
Jeffrey, thank you as always, my brother. Appreciate you, man. And looking forward to the game this weekend.
Same here.
See if
I'm going on Sunday. So
we got 5 games coming that you should have 11 wins on the board when the tough games
Do
roll.
the Jets scare you on Black Friday?
They don't scare me, but I respect the hell out of their defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
But I don't respect their offense. Yeah. How are they going to score on Ramsey and X and Holland? That kid's going to do that? No, dude.
Big difference between the Dolphins playing at home versus playing away?
Yeah, there is. But again, you're also playing some really good teams, good quarterbacks. That's not what you're running into with the Jets on the road. Yeah. So that's where I'm not nearly at, like this weekend. Aiden O'Connell doesn't scare me, dude.
Yeah.
Until Aiden O'Connell scares me, then I'll tell you that Devontae Adams matters.
Absolutely.
That then it'll matter. But if you don't have the QB, it's like I was on with JT the Brick 2 days ago, who's been the Raider guy forever, and he does Raider stuff. And I was on, previewing, and I was telling him, dude, I feel like a kinship to your Raiders right now, because That's what the Dolphins have been, the team that has all the pieces except the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think you guys have a shot in this game, because you don't have the quarterback. And you're going to need a quarterback to go up against Ramsey, X, and Holland.
Absolutely.
You know, dude, they just shut down Pat Mahomes for an entire half.
I'm excited what they can do with a week rest, like,
Yeah.
let's see what's going to look like.
And Ramsey now back in the mix completely,
Yeah.
and Holland now back because he missed 2.
Armstead's healthy or no?
Armstead's playing. Yeah. He's back. So the only guy you're really missing is Hunt.
Yeah.
Because you get a Chan back this week too.
Yeah.
So you're only really missing Hunt, but they've proven that they've actually got backups that can help out and do a good job. We actually have linemen now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And Tua's throwing the ball much faster now, so it's not even an issue anymore.
Playing like we're supposed to. Get rid of the football, kid.
Yep.
Don't hang on to it. I'm so proud of him. He can play like this for 15 years.
Absolutely.
Just play smart, man.
Yep.
You don't need to take any hits.
Yeah.
All right,
Sure.
Jeff. Thank you,
All right,
brother.
thank you, guys.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Jeffrey Tarabolis, let's take a quick break. Give me 2 minutes right here on the Big O Radio Show. Safid Dean is next.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayum is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayum, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayum can help. Let's get the latest from the Aqua and Orange with our Baptist Health of South Florida Miami Dolphins report with USA Today insider Safid Dean. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at BaptistHealth.net. Here's Safid Dean.
All right. How you feeling, Safid? You feeling good?
I'm doing good, Big O. How are you, man?
Exceptional. I'm here in Dadeland here at the KSDT CPA offices. So it's a beautiful Friday. I'm going to a concert tonight.
Nice.
I'm going to go see Joey Belladonna, singer of Anthrax.
Okay, I've heard of them.
You've heard of them. Yeah, it's like a metal band, but it's interesting because he's got a voice that is – so he's doing all Journey, Steve Perry tonight. It's a tour that he's doing on his own, not with Anthrax. It's Joey just on, and he has the kind of voice, okay, that he can sing Steve Perry and Journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like when you listen to Anthrax, you can hear that he's not a screamer. He's a real singer. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take the wife tonight to Piper's Pub. So any of you out there, if you're big Journey fans, and you want to hear a little Journey music from somebody that's got a voice and a half, Joey Belladonna tonight at Piper's Pub. Are you much of a concert person?
Definitely. You and I have varying tastes in music for sure.
No, I like rap too, but
yeah.
But that doesn't mean that
there's nothing.
Don't
There's nothing like a live show.
Don't assume that I don't like rap. I do like rap. Now,
one
of the problems I do have with rap is half the acts aren't very good live.
That is a tough problem.
Translate always. Like I went to see Lupe Fiasco, and he's phenomenal. Live. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
That's so it all depends on who you're going to see. I've seen the Beastie Boys back in the day, or Run DMC. That's a lot of fun. But I saw Yeezy. No, not Yeezy. What's his name? Oh God, he was opening up for Jay-Z. It's Young Jeezy, right? Is it Young Jeezy?
Young Jeezy?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he didn't sound good.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard because you're screaming into the mics when you're rapping. And some guys are not, word for word, like Drake kind of raps and then he'll put it to the crowd, but then it's not really great for a performance aspect of it. I've seen Jay-Z a couple times. He's great. He raps almost every
He sounds good. I've
seen Jay-Z probably 3 times.
He has that voice, that sound of his, and it sounds exactly like on the CD. It sounds like that live. You know what I mean? So it's really cool with Jay-Z. I like
I've seen Jay-Z in Miami twice and once in Orlando. And I would tell you, always go to the bigger city show because the bigger city show is always a little bit more. Like the Orlando show was a little shortened, I believed. Like there was a point where Jay-Z went to the music board and just started pressing buttons for his, all his best hits. And the beat drops. He'll do a couple lines off the hook. And then he'll go and switch to the next song because he's not trying to do all those songs in the Orlando show. But in the Miami show, he'll go an extra 45 minutes or so, maybe, depending on, if he's allowed to or not. But yeah, I've seen, Drake. I've seen Lil Wayne and Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj. That was cool. I've seen Eminem Rolling Loud a couple times as well. Huh?
Eminem is really good live also.
I would imagine so. Yes, I would imagine so for sure. Yeah. But yeah, it's hard for the rappers to kind of do all their lyrics like that. And then most of the time you're just hyping up for the crowd. Like Future and Kodak Black, really bad live.
Yeah.
I've seen Future a couple times. Future's good at a concert, but not a festival.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's that's the only tricky part about rap, that you've got to get the right act live, at times. But tonight, if you are a Journey fan, Piper's Pub, and say hi. If you are,
how far are you from Dadeland Mall?
It's right across the street. Right behind
Arepas Mania on the food court. Arepas Mania. If you like arepas, new restaurant there in Dadeland. They have a couple locations here in the malls in South Florida. Really great. My best friend, his family owns the restaurant. It's really good, man. If you want some arepas, go by.
Arepas Mania. All right.
Yes.
I'll check it out. All right. I got to check it out.
Check it out.
All right. Let's by the way, the Carissa Thompson thing.
Sure.
Oh, she issued a statement. Read the statement for me before we do it, because I am one that I find the outrage to be a little bit ridiculous. And
I was listening to you and Cam a little earlier.
I find it to be a little ridiculous because, it's Carissa Thompson. Let's not throw her under the bus like she's some insider lying to us. We don't look at her for insight. It's just relax, dude. The Joe Burrow thing for me is more of a disgrace than anything else that Carissa Thompson could have done.
Hughes and I talked to both of them about it. What's the statement? I read it. I didn't like the elephant in the room part she said to start it off, but from what I got from her statement is that
Here we go. Wait. Let's read it for everybody. Go ahead, Sean.
All right, here we go. Fluff piece. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. I have a responsibility to myself and my employers to clarify what is being reported when on a podcast this week. I said I would make up reports early in my career when I worked as a sideline reporter before I transitioned to my current host role. Working in media, I understand how important words are, and I chose the wrong words to describe the situation. I'm sorry. I have never lied about anything or been unethical during my time as a sports broadcaster.
You see the walk back on that one?
That's it.
Okay.
But then can I read what she said?
Okay.
Again, that started the whole thing.
What?
I would make up the report sometimes because the coach wouldn't come out at halftime or it was too late and I didn't want to screw up the report. So I was like, I'm just going to make this up.
Right. And by the way, she did a favor to everybody and that works with her because, oh, let's throw it to Carissa. What did the coach say? Well, the coach was in a bad mood and didn't want to talk to me. Now you threw the coach under the bus. You threw the team under the bus. You threw the league under the bus. Now your boss is going to be pissed because you did that. So if she just said, hey, the coach told me we got to stay away from the turnovers and got to play harder back to you guys. I get it, bro.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, dude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've been in this business for 30 years. I've been on all sides of it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just,
The great Barry Jackson likes to say state secrets, right? State secrets are you going to share them with us before the game, after the game, during the game, things like that. My thing with Carissa Thompson is she said this once before, and the first time she said it, she said she would make up things because the coach wasn't taking her seriously on the sideline. To use her words, the coach would be like, oh, your perfume smells great today, right? So at one point, she's already being disrespected for the job she's trying to do too. Like I understand the uproar by the media people for sure. This is definitely something you obviously plagiarizing and lying about information you're getting and passing it off to people in a story or a report on from the sideline. It's misleading. It's a disservice to the fans, and the media's job is to connect the fans to the teams that they love. And when I first heard the news and saw the video, I'm like, kind of taken back a little bit by it, but at the same time too, you understand where she's coming from. Look, when have you ever seen a sideline reporter hear a sideline report and the coach is like, yeah, we got to stop the run. We can't commit any turnovers. We need to try to get Jamar Chase involved. And when have you been like, man, that is so riveting?
Yeah, it's all cliche.
Like, I'm so
crap.
much better. Yeah, it's all cliche things, Some coaches are better than others in knowing that the sideline report is coming for them either, at the end of the half or the end of the game or, right before halftime. And for Carissa Thompson, what she needs to do is instead of waiting for the head coach, go talk to an assistant, go talk to a player, go talk to somebody else, at least with some credibility on the team and talk about, and then base your report off of that. Look, these coaches are humans and they're trying to win a game. And sometimes people are sometimes in football, like you're so laser focused and spaced out on everything else in the world, right? It's 60 minutes of football and really it's 3 hours, 4 hours of a game where you're just pounding on X's and O's and this and that you don't think about, things that everybody else would think about on the course of a normal day just because you're so involved in that mix. It takes a little time to come down and decompress and figure out, okay, I have to formulate my words into, something that not only I would tell players, but I would tell other people after the game too. I understand the uproar. But I don't think Carissa Thompson gets fired or anything from this. I think she's probably got a pretty sweet deal at Amazon. I did feel a little bad for her because we were all watching her last night. And usually she's very, very upbeat. She's very engaging. She's, joking with the other guys on the panel. And, last night it was straight hair, black dress, and very just timid, during the show last night. So, she's getting a lot of heat from it and deservedly so at some parts. But, there's people in the media will view it differently. And then people who are just casual consumers of football will view it differently as well. And, it sucks. She kind of does her credibility.
By the way, people lie all the time. We have reporters that are lying for agents.
Yes.
And all the time. Okay. And I told Cam what I'll tell you. One time I knew Pat Surtain was not playing. And I was the beat reporter at that time for QAM. And so I come back to my my program director, and I say, hey, man, I'm going to report that Pat Surtain's not playing. It was a Friday. And he goes to me, you can't. And I go, why? And he goes, well, Hank recorded the Dave Wanstead show on Thursday afternoon,
and Wanstead says that Pat Surtain is going to be available throughout the week and that they're going to, work him out before the game and then decide whether he's going to play or not. And I'm like, I know he's not playing. And I go, yeah, but we can't ruin the broadcast because if you report it, then they hear the thing and then they're going to say, well, what is this? And so then I had to swallow it. I couldn't use the story. And so I'm walking around like I'm the only reporter in the country that knows that Pat Surtain's not playing.
Yeah.
And I can't say anything. You know what I mean? And
Well, you guys had a partnership with the Dolphins at that time, right?
yes.
So it's very understandable why.
That's
And,
what I'm saying is what Carissa Thompson did is nothing compared to what goes on.
Yeah.
It's
No,
my
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Look, there's a lot of things going on. Look, Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, they're very
Come
tied
on.
in. They're very tied in with not just teams and GMs and it's mostly football. It's mostly football agents and agencies.
That's
And when
what
you work,
carries her. You and I know that that's what carries Schefter and Woj's ass is their agencies that are tied to the player. Come on.
yeah, and you don't hate the player, you hate the game. If
Right.
you're a small time reporter who doesn't, isn't repped by an agent or anything like that, but the reporters and coaches are repped at the same agencies. There's a couple of them, and so those people share information. A lot of people are in the know. There's a lot of things that people know that doesn't get out there. And the world kind of goes on, right? And you'll eventually hear about some things afterwards when maybe somebody gets fired or a player loses their job or things like that. But this was a really interesting media day for sure because essentially I understand where you're coming from 100%, and I would lean towards you as well. But I would say that this kind of revelation by Carissa Thompson, it just sours it for the rest of the people who are trying to make their careers as sideline reporters, right? Like, look, Cam Wolf's done a couple games, but when you look at everybody else from NFL Network to ESPN to people working a Miami Heat game and so many other games like that, college games, and you're trying to give a sideline report and you want to have something of actual substance that you can give, a viewer to, insight on their favorite player, this and that. So-and-so told me a story about how, their mom died and they really wanted to play this game today instead of be at her funeral because they know that's what she wanted to do. Sometimes only a sideline reporter gets that because it's, time and space and, they have a little bit more access than maybe a reporter does during the week. Little tidbits like that. Sometimes those things have so much value that you look at a player, you're like, man, I don't know what this guy's going through, but he's out here playing. And then it's a big success story after the game. It's never really like an injury or something like that. Kaylee Hartung did a good job last night. It felt like she was all over the field, but also, there's times where, Joe Burrow's raised in his hand and he can't throw above 90 degrees. And like, all right, we all see that. And Kaylee spells it out for us like that.
But
so it can go back and forth.
But Hartung's been she's a veteran.
Oh yeah. One of the best.
While you see her young there, like she's a young woman, she's been in news, she's been in entertainment, she's been in sports multiple times. She's very seasoned, actually, and
Yes.
that's where I think the general public, which is what Cam pointed out, which is true, the general public misses out on, like you, me, and Cam, and people in the media. We know the difference between Andrea Kramer and Ramona Shelbourne and Carissa Thompson.
Yeah.
Carissa Thompson is not at the level of those two other ladies we just talked about. Those ladies are considered insiders. Those ladies are well connected. Those ladies are well respected in our business. Like Jackie McMullen and some of the other women, Michelle Kaufman locally here, who's a legit reporter, writer that has been in this business for decades and knows her shit. We look at those women differently than we do the hosts, because whether you're male or female, we're not really looking at you for your insight at all. We're just looking at you to take it in and out of the break and throw it to the insiders and the hosts and the analysis. That's it, dude. That's what you're there for. And that's what you look at Carissa Thompson for. Come on.
Yeah, there's definitely some different media roles. And I just think when she was a sideline reporter and for her to say that she, said some things that weren't entirely inaccurate, right? And what she said in her statement that Sean read was that she never fabricated something that a coach told her or nothing. She said she would watch the game, and if they were 0 for 7 on third down, they need to improve on third down. I mean, that in the end is not bad. But when you come out and say, I've said this before and I haven't got fired from it, so I'll say it again. It's then you're getting to privilege. Then you're getting to my contract's so guaranteed that I can say whatever I want and I won't get no reprehension from it. So, and that's where a lot of people are upset about it.
She did kill her credibility. Now, from here on out, she killed her credibility.
Yeah, I mean, literally last night.
If she ever wanted to be taken serious, it's done.
No, but she, from silent reporting, she's always been a host of shows, whether it's Fox or now this and but she's gonna be the butt of our jokes too. Like literally last night, somebody posted a picture like, I just talked to Joe Burrow and he's doing great. And it was hilarious to see, and it's unfortunate for her. She's going to have to kind of deal with that.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you go and do the Barstool interview and you're trying to accelerate your brand or accelerate your works brand. And, sometimes, not all PR is good PR, but, you kind of have to deal with it after the fact.
Yeah. I'm with you there. All right. You want
to talk about Burrow?
Yeah. Well, the Burrow thing is, I lost money yesterday on that, bro.
Yeah.
It's the only bet I lost on yesterday. I killed it last night. Bro.
How come you didn't text me, man? I would have been killing it here with you.
You should have listened to the show. I give out all the stuff on the show. I said take the Heat minus 3.5. I said take the Panthers plus a goal and a half. I gave out a parlay, Heat minus 3.5, Jaquez over 8.5. And Bam over 3.5 assists. I give out the information, bro.
That's a nice little sizable parlay you just gave out there. Wow.
I gave it. I gave all the information.
Okay.
I did go Bengals plus 3.5. And I think I easily would have won if you
knew Joe Burrow wasn't
to us about Joe Burrow's that my friends, that's a problem there, because if you guys want to sleep with betting companies, well, then you need to come clean, bro, and you have to report every injury up front. What they did yesterday was a disservice to all the people that bet, by the way.
Look, I don't blame the Bengals for what they may have did, but I think I can kind of spell it out for you guys. We saw Joe Burrow hand wrap video coming off the bus, right? We see every time that Joe Burrow had a replay after the game or after he came out, his hand is tucked in, the warmer, right? Is Joe Burrow's hand broken? Is his wrist hurting? Is it a sprain? Does he have one of these bones here messed up? We don't know. But when you look at the Bengals, right, they're last in the AFC North, and that's not a bad place to be before last night's game. But now they're 5-5, and the two teams ahead of them, Browns and Pittsburgh, are 6-3, and Baltimore's 8-3 now. So this was the second game they're going to play against the Ravens. They already lost the first one. You can understand why they had to try to beat the Ravens in this one, right? To try to gain some ground and all that. But I really think they just really miscalculated all of it, right? As much as the Ravens kind of had a lead in this division, like Joe Burrow shouldn't have played this game if he has a hand injury, especially when it's his throwing hand. He's already been injured so many times already in his career. And you don't have Higgins either, right? So Chase has been hurt a little bit. All your stars are hurt, and you need all these guys to be healthy. And these Thursday night games are not fun for anybody because the recovery of the body from Sunday, you probably don't get right until Wednesday. And even at Thursday, you're probably okay kind of working your way back into a real practice. And now you got to go be a gladiator all over again and do what you did on Sunday 4 days later. The turnaround is incredibly tough for all these players. What the Bengals should have done was really focus their energy on the Steelers and Browns, because the Browns just lost Deshaun Watson and the Steelers don't have a starter or a backup at quarterback. Their offense is going to continue to falter at some point, and they're going to lose some games. The Bengals should have rested Burrow in this one, let the Ravens have the division, and try to attack the other two teams ahead of them in their division, and still try to sneak into the playoffs as one of those lower seeds, because we know as soon as nobody wants to see the Bengals when they're fully healthy at all in the playoffs. They're the most electric team in the NFL, right? So the Bengals really messed this one up and miscalculated everything. And I agree with you. This should have been reported, this whole injury. I could understand why the Bengals didn't report it, or they're being investigated for, not reporting the injury. But, if the Ravens go into the game knowing they're going to face a backup quarterback, They're not going to plan for Joe Burrow. So there's gamesmanship there and things like that. But, you and I wouldn't bet Joe Burrow 1.5 touchdowns, right? Or Jamar Chase to have, 90 yards or something like that if we knew Burrow was dealing with a hand injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the
And
throwing.
it's different. And it's completely different than like Mark Andrews having, not being able to hit 25 yards or more because he gets 23 yards on the second play of the game or whatever, and he breaks his ankle for the rest of the year. That's completely different.
You can't
An injury
control that.
happens. Yes, you can't control what happens during the game, but before the game, you're kind of you're doing a disservice to everybody in the public, and I can understand why.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you no longer can accept it. You can understand, but it's illegal, it's unethical, and unfortunately, you have to divulge that information, whether you
Not
like
illegal,
it or not.
unethical is the right word. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it probably is illegal to NFL rules, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, to report the injury and stuff like that. Yeah.
You broke
But
the rule, whatever it is, illegal. It is unethical, but it's you broke a rule, so you failed there somehow or another. I just hope they fine, and since they're cheap, you need to fine Mike Brown a heavy amount of money because that will freak that old man out, and he'll never do it again. Because
well, I think that comes from kind of not even at the ownership level. You find the owner, but that's coaching. That's gamesmanship. That's trying to have any kind of little bit of edge. When have you heard
Mike Brown because he'll then pressure everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Brian Flores told us all like Preston Williams doing everything he can to come back, just hoping other teams would take 2 minutes to game plan for Preston Williams when he's not in the game.
Right.
Sometimes these coaches, they have people who, Brian Flores is one of them. They have people who are reading transcripts, who are watching interviews, who are reading stories about what's being written and hoping to find any little glimpse of something that's going to help them. It's going to help them in a sense that when I'm watching film, I can have already the key of what I'm looking for. I can have a Cliff Notes version of it instead of, what's me having to work even harder for all of it,
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, what do you think about the game this weekend?
Dolphins better win, man. That's it. That's all I think about. But I do, Dolphins came back pretty loose after the bye, which is good. Like you wouldn't think they just lost to the Chiefs. Or we've been talking all this time about them losing to big time opponents. But the fact of the matter is so much change in the 11, 12? I don't forget how many days since the Chiefs came, but you had so many people lose, right? Now you look at just the game last, Mark Andrews done for the season, opens the window a little bit more for you, which is unfortunate for the Ravens and Lamar Jackson for sure. You see the Burrow injury, you see Josh Allen implode and them lose an offensive coordinator. So much has happened since the last time the Dolphins touched the field. And like you said last time, Big O, everybody's kind of done something for themselves to ruin their part. Now it's the Dolphins' turn to kind of do something for themselves to improve and make it through the end, right? And take advantage of all of these things kind of happening all at once towards him. It's crazy, man.
And I think they should feel good because the KC loss was not a bad loss. It was just you made a couple of mistakes there, and that's why you lost.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that defense shut down Pat Mahomes and shut down Travis Kelce, that to me is the most exciting thing that's happened this season outside of watching the offense explode, because now I think this was a turning point for the Dolphins. And I don't think we're talking about it enough because they have to go out and actually prove it. And I think we'll go back to it and say that was the turning point when Ramsey came back and they shut down the Chiefs, and they've gone on a roll since then. And I think that's what's going to happen now. I think this team's about to get on a roll.
Yeah, you would hope so. And they got, 4 easy games coming up here to really kind of get on that roll, like we said. It's a quick turnaround for the Dolphins, too. After this Raiders game, which you're hoping that they come out clean from, you got to go play the Jets on Friday, right?
Yep.
So you're the only game on Friday. And we've seen in situations before where the Dolphins are the only team on TV and they just mess up.
Yeah, I just think I think they're going to turn the corner here now. I really
hope so. We hope so because every time we give the Dolphins any bit of credit, they kind of have a dud in a big game, and so you're hoping that they overcome that.
The only difference is they have the talent to be great.
Of course they do.
It's time. Put it all together, and I think the KC game should be a great example. Fellas, if we stay away from the mistakes, we can be pretty damn good. And they should have beaten, KC just by staying away from the mistakes. Catch the passes you're supposed to. Don't fumble. Don't create the penalties, all that kind of stuff, pre-snap stuff. Stop killing yourselves, and you can go out there and win these games, man.
Yeah,
if
the Dolphins,
I really think this was it. This was the moment. That's right.
If the Dolphins are who we think they are and they think they are, then they go out and do what they have to do. This Raiders game should come by pretty, fairly easy for them. They should score early. Hopefully they're engaged and just want to run them out the field, run them out the stadium in the first half because they have a rookie quarterback behind them. And, Devontae Adams, I'm a little worried about just because he's going to be moved around in the middle of the field. They're not going to put him on the outside where X or Ramsey can get to him, but there's only a matter of time before those plays kind of slow down. And then, after that, I just look at, Jacobs in the run game. The Dolphins have kind of been weak in the run game this season. So I would kind of watch out for that. But the Jets game is, that's a huge game coming up. Yeah. And then when you look at, that's a huge game coming up. Commanders, Titans, Jets again. The Dolphins have a chance to get to 11 wins before, in the heart of December. And they could probably get to 12. Who knows? But they have a good chance, man. They have a good chance.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Safid_Dean. What do you got going on at the USA Today?
Yeah, man. I just was watching Messi play last night. Argentina lost to Uruguay. Yeah, Argentina lost to Uruguay in some World Cup qualifying last night. Messi hasn't scored in a while, man. He hasn't scored a goal in a month, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. Argentina is still doing really good. It's incredible to watch Messi right now, man. He's in the twilight of his career and playing good games still. None of this really, I think the games kind of matter a little bit to him, but in the grand scheme of things, he already has the best thing that's ever happened in his career. So it's just all icing on the cake from now.
Damn right. Playing for Inter Miami. Doesn't get any
better. It's cake, man. It's cake. And I'll be at the Dolphins game on Sunday, checking out the boys, and we'll see how they do.
Screw Paris and Barcelona. It's about playing at the pink and black, baby. That's
we got a great city here, man. We got a great city here.
That's it. All right, Safir. We'll catch up post game on Sunday, my friend. Appreciate you.
Talk to you soon, Big O.
You got it. Safid Dean, baby. Baptist Health is the official sports medicine provider for the Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, FIU, FAU, Orange Bowl, Miami-Dade County Public Schools, Miami Open Tennis, Miami Marathon, and half marathons. And, of course, Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has locations from Monroe County to Palm Beach County. BaptistHealth.net/ortho. Use that QR code.
The Baptist Health of South Florida Miami Dolphins Report with insider Safid Dean is brought to you by Baptist Health of South Florida. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at BaptistHealth.net.
All right, we start off hour number 3. We switch gears. Let's talk about the red hot Heat. 7 in a row with the one and only Anthony Chiang next.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Heat fans, the fast break is on. It's our Baptist Health of South Florida Heat Report with insider Anthony Chiang. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at BaptistHealth.net. Here's Anthony Chiang.
All right. They got it done last night. Yes, sir. 7 in a row. They're 8-4. A 122-115 win over the Nets. Anthony, Jaquez got his revenge.
Jaquez for
Yes.
his last loss?
Yeah,
Or
he said they owed him something from the
that was Haywood actually.
Haywood, Highsmith
Haywood
got the revenge. So that was nice. That was good that they were talking about giving. I like when the young guys are, the way the season started, it was kind of ugly. And we were wondering, okay, are these guys going to do the same shit in the first half of the season, not take it serious, and then start turning it up? And now, I tweeted this out yesterday. This looks like a team that actually wants to take the regular season a little bit more serious because maybe they don't want to go from the play-in game. Maybe they want to have a higher seed. What do you think? But I like what I'm seeing at least.
Yeah, obviously so far so good. I mean, Eric Spoelstra from the first day of training camp, I remember him saying, "You want to, after what happened last season, we want to be more intentional this regular season."
Of course.
Of not only taking it more seriously, but starting fast and not digging ourselves into a hole. Last season was just all about that bad start and then constantly just trying to get over. I don't think they got over 500 until December, and maybe 2 games over 500 until like January. Here we are November 17th, and they're 8-4. So a lot different. This looks a lot more. I mean, it's early still, but this looks a lot more like 2 seasons ago when the team was fighting. I think they ended up with the number 1 seed, but they were one of the top seeds all year. It seems like if they continue playing this way, if they stay healthy, they're going to be one of those teams competing for one of those top 3, top 4 spots in the East.
Duncan Robinson reverse layups also now in the game.
The up and under. I was typing. I was next to Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press, and he did that. We just both stopped and looked at each other like, what just happened? I mean, every game it seems like he's pulling something out new that we never thought he could do. I mean, he hung in the air.
Air Duncan. That was
went
Air
under
Duncan.
Went under the rim and completed the reverse layup like it was Dwayne Wade or something. It's just so many of these guys.
Air Robinson.
Air Robinson sounds better. Yeah,
Air Robinson.
Air Robinson. I like that.
26 points yesterday, 6 of 10 shooting from 3-point range. It is absolutely phenomenal to watch.
Duncan Robinson, best bargain contract in the NBA. What do you think?
I told you, man, it's turning into a bargain.
It's amazing how fast things change.
You could trade that now. You can trade it now. Now people will line up to trade for that contract now.
Yeah, especially as it winds down. And in today's NBA, $18-17 million is not that crazy.
He's one of the 5 or 7 best 3-point shooters in the NBA. Period. End of story.
And now he does other things. And even on defense, he's never going to be a great defender.
No, but
he's holding his own. He's not. I don't notice him as much as a liability of guys just trying to get him in isolations and taking advantage of him.
Trying, bro. Part of half of defense is effort, is what it is, and the effort is there. In fact, he's probably a little bit better than Tyler is on defense now at this point. But everything else about his game, he rebounds, he sets up, he puts the ball on the court. He plays without the ball, and he cuts and does a great job, and just really, really proud of the kid. And Butler yesterday was fantastic. But when he is engaged like that, that's the other thing. And then, bam, another 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. So your big 3. So let me ask you, are you better off with this big 3, or are you better off with the other big 3 with Tyler there?
I know that's a conversation happening right now on social media of, after the Heat went to the finals without Tyler Hero, now they've won 7 straight. Not without Tyler Hero, because the first 2
and the Eastern Conference the year before he got injured.
Right. Eastern Conference Finals, yes. The first 2 games of this winning streak were with Tyler. He played a big part in those 2 wins, so that's important to note. But I refuse to believe that this team is better without Tyler Hero. This is not a good offensive team. We've seen that now for a year and a half, 1+ seasons. They've been one of the bottom 10 offenses, bottom 5 offenses most of that time. you can't tell me that they're better without Tyler Hero, who's arguably their best pure scorer on the roster. Now is there a conversation to be had that maybe you put him in different lineups, or it's better if him playing off the bench?
Yeah.
That's another conversation.
That's
But
where
I
that's
refuse.
where I would put him. I would put him in a 6-man.
Yeah.
So he comes off the bench and you have instant offense, plus he can close.
Right.
So it's not so much that you're not a starter. You're still going to have
Right.
starters minutes. But I think a guy like that off the bench, plus his ball handling, which is the other thing that we can't, let pass.
For
because
sure.
This team needs ball handlers. And, Duncan does a nice job handling the ball, but he's not a ball handler. This kid can handle the ball.
Yeah. He's a lead guard. Tyler Hero is a lead guard.
Yeah.
He can be.
Yeah.
And Eric Spoelstra, I think, while Tyler Hero was starting, when he was playing, the rotation was set up where Tyler was the first one to get sub out of the game at like 6 minutes, and then he would re-enter with like 3 minutes left and basically run the second unit. So yes, he was starting the game, but you could tell Eric Spoelstra was trying to get him almost also in that 6-man role too, where he was playing with a lot of the bench guys and leading those lineups. So there's ways you could kind of work it where he starts, which is what he wants, and honestly, that's what he deserves. He's one of the top 3 players in this team. He should be starting, but he also can lead those bench units as well. So I think Eric Spoelstra will continue to do that when Tyler Hero returns, and I just still very strongly believe this team is better with Tyler Hero.
I have no problem with that. I just think that I would bring him off the bench. And by the way, this whole thing about that it's beyond him, or that that he's earned this, that.
Right.
Bro, Manu Ginobili is a better player than him. In fact, Tyler will never be better than Manu Ginobili was, because Manu Ginobili is a Hall of Famer. I don't know if Tyler will ever be a Hall of Famer. And Manu Ginobili didn't say a peep and came off the bench and was phenomenal for San Antonio. So there's nothing. I just wish we wouldn't look at it like it's the 6-man is not a person that is just a jag on your team.
He'll play 30+ minutes either way. Yeah.
The 6-man is incredibly important
for sure.
Every team in the NBA, dude. The better 6-man you have, the better chance you have to win a championship. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Look, Dwayne Wade and Goran Dragic late in their careers took on 6-man roles, right? But I don't disagree with you. I think starting is overrated. I think closing a game is more important. I think minutes are more important. Look at Kyle Lowry. He's starting games and now playing, 20 minutes a game. He starts and then he doesn't come back in. Starts each half and doesn't come back in. So minutes and closing games are more important. But this, Big O, with any sport, football, basketball, baseball, it's also about managing personalities. Yeah, Tyler Hero has been very adamant about wanting to start and felt very strongly that he deserves to start. So, yes, you could move him to the bench, but how does that affect things? So in a vacuum, I agree with you.
Oh, grow up.
But is there a way you can get both, which I think Eric Spoelstra is trying to do, where he starts, but he's also leading a lot of those bench lineups?
Yeah, I would. Right now, I like what I'm seeing with that lineup there. Yeah, and last night you had Highsmith in there, which that will be Caleb eventually. And it's just there's more defense. That's the other thing I like about this team. There's more defense on this team than there has been the last couple of years. I think that is huge. I was so was Spo from what I saw, but I was very encouraged with Caleb Martin because I found it to be superbly efficient. And that's one of the things I love about certain players in basketball. Efficiency, I think, takes you to another level as a player. Yesterday it was 12 minutes. He only took 2 shots, made 2 of them, took 3 3-pointers, made 2 of them, also had 2 assists along with the 6 points. I just thought it was a solid start for Caleb Martin last night.
Yeah, and he didn't, like you said, he didn't overdo it. He didn't try to overdo it in his time back. 12 minutes, took 3 shots, made 2 threes, had a couple assists. This kind of fit right in, which is what Eric Spoelstra said. He does, and Eric Spoelstra said this before the game and after the game, the way that he is playing with these versatile lineups, 2-way players, guys who can defend, guys who can run up get up the court fast, who could shoot threes and make threes. Caleb Martin fits all that. Like, he's that type of player. So it's like I think Spo's quote was, he fits what we're doing right now, but it's on steroids. Like, Caleb Martin arguably is the best player on this team at that role player who could do all those different things.
Right.
We saw that last season's playoff run. So this team is, we've said it, Big O, we said it before the year. This team is very deep. You look at that bench, Jaime Jaquez, with the way he's playing. Now you throw in Caleb Martin, Kevin Love giving you really good bench minutes.
I told you they would replace the guys. The only thing
Yeah.
I was concerned about was ball handling a little bit. That's it. But I wasn't worried about missing Strus and Gabe's points. I knew they had enough because you knew that Highsmith was ready to take another step. I love Jaquez. I mean, I've loved Jaquez from the get-go. I thought that was a hell of a pick. I just think that this was a team, and then you're going to get Caleb back now. I just think it's deeper. This could be a better team than they were last year. I really believe that. And if Drew Smith really comes through as a ball handler, that's going to be huge for Miami. Because if not, then you're probably going to be reporting on them making some kind of a move for some kind of a ball handler by the deadline.
Yeah, but look, even with Caleb Martin back last night, even with Tyler Hero out, Drew Smith didn't play. Drew Smith's not going to be in the rotation because there's just not enough room for him. I mean,
but at least when you do need him down the line,
yes, he's there.
Lowry's going to miss. You're going to need him.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If he can continue to fill that role, that's a really positive thing. Because if not, they're going to probably trade for another ball handler if Drew Smith doesn't come.
And these last two games, like we just said, Kyle Lowry's barely played. I mean, he's played like 15, 20 minutes, but they're closing games without a point guard on the court. And what did they have? 9 turnovers yesterday? Like, they're one of the best teams at limiting turnovers without really many point guards or quote unquote ball handlers on the roster. That's a credit to guys like Jimmy, guys like Bam, guys like Josh Richardson, guys like Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez, who could all play that role. I mean, that's one of the strengths of this team. Anybody can bring it up the court and run the offense, which makes which challenges defenses. You never know where it's going to go. So
and you don't mention the coaching, please, because there's a reason why you're so efficient. There's a reason why you win. There's a reason why you're smart. There's a reason why everybody is better every time they step onto the court and they play under that dude.
Yeah, Eric Spoelstra's a pretty good coach. He's all right.
He is so freaking good, dude. It's.
I mean, is he? Where does he stand for you?
He's so good. He masks the mistakes that they've made for the last 10 years.
Right. He's just really good. He's really good at putting players in a position to succeed.
Oh my God.
He doesn't ask players to do some stuff they can't.
Right.
He kind of plays them to his strengths, and that's why you see players play their best basketball, their careers in Miami, and then they go other places and
not as good.
They don't have that role, that defined role that they had with the Heat. And
unless
some players get frustrated.
Strus, right?
Unless you're Strus, right? Yeah, there you go. Unless you're Strus, there's always an outlier. But some players get frustrated with that because they want to do more, they want to shoot more threes. But Eric Spoelstra is very good about just play this role, give us 100% when you're on the court, and that's what he gets the most out of his players. So, credit to him. He's obviously an amazing coach. I was going to ask you, Bigo, he's already up there, probably Mount Rushmore of coaches in South Florida, but where does he rank even in the Mount Rushmore? Where would you put him?
Well, I already told you he's better than Riley.
Right.
I already told you that. He's better than Riley.
So is he right behind Shula then? You think he's second?
He's not better than Riley's career because once you add the Knicks and the Lakers, there's no way that Spo will ever touch that. But as a Heat career, I'm more impressed with Spo than Riley because I have seen Spo with so many different teams, whereas Riley ran the same kind of team all the time. It was his system, and he just
defense first, and
and it was the same center-driven offense, inside out. It was the same type of team every single time. It just changed the pieces. That's all it was. Whereas Spo, my God, dude, he has played with so many different lineups, so many different ways, and on top of that, he's a trendsetter. He also started something, that positionless stuff. You know, when you have that kind of foresight too, on top of all of that. But when we talk about in South Florida, it's Shula, Riley, Spo, Ron Frazier, Larinaga. So I gotta leave Frazier ahead of Larinaga.
As of now,
Yeah, because he's got the titles.
Yeah, he's got the titles. Yeah,
and again, foresight. he's the guy that helped baseball get on the map.
Right.
Like he brought business.
How about Howard?
Oh, Schnellenberger. Yeah, there's a title there.
Just the significance there of him like putting helping get UM on the map. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and also FAU.
Yeah. Yeah, and also FAU. That's a good
He
point.
also had success with FAU. You know what I'm saying? And he and Louisville, the team that they're playing this weekend, they have a stadium because of Howard Schnellenberger.
Wasn't he on the 72 Dolphins coaching staff?
Yes, he was. He was Shula's guy. Yeah, that was one of Shula's assistants. But yeah, you could put Schnellenberger there too, man. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, wow, it's tough.
Yeah,
it's
but
tough
I mean,
to like
Spo's up there for sure.
For
There's
sure.
no doubt. Yeah.
There's no doubt. But it's like, how do you leave Larinaga off too? I'm just as impressed with Larinaga.
Where does Mike McDaniel go if they win a Super Bowl this year?
Well, no, yeah, he's got a lot of winning to do before we even put him in that conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to come up with just 4 because you're going to be arguing about one guy there. Because like Shula, Riley, and Spo are there already.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. They're locked in. And then you're going to say, is it Schnellenberger? Is it Frazier? Is it Larinaga?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can make an argument for all of them.
Right.
So it's hard for just a Mount Rushmore.
Clean 4.
Yeah. You may have to go deeper than 4 nowadays.
So that's a good thing for South Florida. I mean, there's been a lot of good coaches in this.
Yeah. We've been blessed. We've had some pretty damn good coaches, and obviously to watch Spo come from,
where he came from.
beginnings, that's super impressive. All right, what do you got going on in the Herald so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, today I posted a story on Caleb Martin's return, which we just spoke about. Obviously, everyone's really encouraged. I think the best news that came out from the game, aside from the win and Duncan and Jimmy, was that Caleb Martin after the game said, I felt more like myself. Because in the season opener, when he went out there and played, he did not feel like himself. And that's why he sat out these last 10 games. So he feels healthy. That's a good thing. He's going to be a big part of the bench rotation. He's going to play 25, 30 minutes a game somehow, some way on this deep roster because he's one of the best two-way players on the team. So that's all good news for the Heat. And then tomorrow I have coverage from Chicago. I'm flying in a few hours to Chicago to begin this another long trip. Should be fun. Zach
LaVine, you believe in any of that?
I just don't see the fit. I don't see it. I mean,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
He's not as efficient as Tyler.
Hero to me is a better version.
And by the way, he might be even more injury prone than Tyler.
I was going to say his knees aren't great. He's had some knee issues recently. His contract is more expensive. I don't know if he's better than Tyler Hero. I would say no, but it's close. And even if like you say you keep Tyler and you find a way to get Zach LaVine with Tyler, how does that fit with a lineup of Tyler Hero, Zach LaVine? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Alex Caruso makes more sense, but I just don't know how the Heat would get him because I'm guessing Chicago will want a first-round pick to get rid of Caruso, and I don't think the Heat will do that. So
right. But that one, but you're right. You know, when you talk about fits, that one makes
that makes a lot more sense. Yeah,
there is no logic bringing Zach LaVine here, unless the coaching staff is convinced that they're like, no, we can make him efficient. No. In our system, we'll coach him up. We'll make unless they're like that, and which, they can actually think like that because that's what they do with everybody. Everybody's better when you go there. You know what I'm saying? But
they've earned the benefit of the doubt. So if they do it, then I guess we'll see. But from the outside looking in, I don't see the fit. I don't see the fit.
It's like watching Whiteside. After you watch Whiteside long enough, you're like, this guy's not a Heat player. It's like, the James Harden stuff. Yeah, it's not a Heat player.
Yeah.
Come on. That doesn't make any sense, So
he and Zach LaVine's talented. He's good, he's athletic. He can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
He can score. But again, they have Tyler Hero already. And then you have Jimmy and Bam. And now you have Duncan Robinson averaging 20-something points a game. So I don't know. I just don't
they have a much more efficient player in Tyler Hero than Zach LaVine. That's the part that people don't. I bring up efficiency a lot with you.
Mm-hmm.
Are we at the point where is that something that I know basketball people like you think about that?
Yeah.
Does the public think about that enough?
I think so. I think more and more each year, right? Because you'd rather have a guy who averages 23 points a game on 48% shooting compared to a guy who averages 28 points a game on a, for the Wizards and is that shooting 41%, right? To me, if, I don't want to sound like I'm a basketball snob, but if you know basketball, like that's pretty obvious, So look at Jimmy. Jimmy's a perfect example. He doesn't average the most points a game.
Right.
But man, I think last year shot 52% from the field.
Yes.
And that's why he received some MVP votes. And you look at all the advanced metrics, and he's like right behind Jokic, which is impressive because he's so efficient. So efficiency is very important. Very important.
Dude. Yeah. I just wish people would get more on top of. I know writers do. I know you guys do, but like fans, I don't think they appreciate. Like I have guys that have reached out. Oh no, we got to have Zach LaVine. He's electric.
Yeah.
And do you know he's not efficient. Go look at his shooting percentages. Go look at his injury history. There are things that, you're just looking at the high flying dunk. And maybe you're still thinking of the dunk contest from a couple years back, which by the way, he was nasty. It was awesome. He put on a show. Yeah. You're not really looking at the basketball player. And I get you may not trust Tyler completely, but Tyler's actually way more efficient than this guy.
I don't want to name names, but it's like that quarterback who has a really big arm, but maybe throws a lot of picks and fumbles the ball a lot. And
Josh Allen?
I didn't say it, but it's kind of the same thing. Like it's nice, right? They're talented. They have the physical gifts. They could put up big numbers, but you have to take care of the ball.
I'm with you. All right, my brother. Follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. What do you got going on in the Miami Herald, my friend?
Yeah, the Caleb Martin story that we just spoke about, and then this coverage from the road trip coming up over the next week, another 5-game trip, and then finally the Heat will return home for some extended stretch, for pretty much the first time all season.
All right, but hey, man, we were afraid, or a little not afraid. We were concerned about this road trip, and they have handled it in a absolutely perfect fashion. So let's hope that they can finish it off. We'll catch up next week, man. Have a great weekend and safe in your travels.
Thank you, Big O. Have a good weekend.
You got it. There you go, Anthony Chiang. And of course, you don't need to be a professional athlete to go where the pros go. The doctors at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care can see you now. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to request an appointment and get yourself back in the game. And if you have an injury that's keeping you from doing what you love, take charge of your health and get back into the game with the help of the all-pro staff at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care.
The Baptist Health of South Florida Miami Heat Report with Anthony Chiang is brought to you by Baptist Health of South Florida. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at baptisthealth.net.
All right. Thank you all out there. We like pointing out people that are the MVPs. And, when you call Cutter's Edge Pro, William Quigley is, he's like a league MVP, not just an MVP of a team, league MVP. And you will see the performance from he and his staff. If you need, of course, maintenance, or if you got to turn your house around like we did, we had no life in our house. And when they were done, we have all the life now. We have an incredible array of life now, because when you take landscaping and you add it to your home, to your business, it increases the value. And on top of all of that, it just creates a much better atmosphere. Now we can walk out to the yard, the backyard. We got shade all over. We got the artificial turf, and the doggies are killing it. So let's get into our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP? For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
Had 36 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks, and that's easily an MVP-like performance. But Jimmy Butler can't do it by himself, and that's been the reason why you have fallen short at times. You need support. You need other guys to step up. And Duncan Robinson has turned himself into one hell of a player. Last night, 26 points, reverse layup. I mean, he had airtime. I mean, that was impressive. 6 of 10 shooting from three-point range. Very impressed with Duncan Robinson, how he has made himself a complete basketball player. I'm not telling you he's this all-world two-way player or anything, but at least he has become serviceable somewhat on defense. And then on top of all of that, he rebounds, he sets his team up, he plays without the ball, he can handle the ball, and shooting lights out, 6 of 10 from three-point range last night. Duncan Robinson, he's playing so well. People, and we had this conversation with Anthony Chiang, and others are having this conversation. Maybe Tyler Hero should be coming off the bench instead, because the chemistry with Duncan there has been fantastic. Plus, with you have a Highsmith there, or instead will be Caleb, you will maintain that defensive intensity there too. At the same time, when you have Tyler and Duncan on the court, well, then you have a little bit more deficiency there. If you can have some other players there along with Bam, along with Jimmy Butler, and you've got guys out there that can get some stops for you, and I think that's huge. But Duncan Robinson, kudos to him. Hell of a performance last night, 26 points. He is our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
Love it. Appreciate it as always. Thank you all out there for tuning in and supporting the show. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Let's get into a little music and entertainment. We always love talking a little music and entertainment. Let's get into a little music history here. Let me pull it up here. November 17th. All right. Today, on this date in 1980, John Lennon and Yoko Ono released Double Fantasy. Lennon was killed 3 weeks after its release, and the country was like in a standstill at that moment. 2003, Meatloaf on this date was rushed to an English hospital after collapsing on stage during a concert in London. It turned out that he had an irregular heartbeat that required emergency surgery. In 2007, the Eagles had the number one album on the charts with The Long Road Out of Eden, their first studio album since 1979. I believe that was The Long Run. In 1988, Guns N' Roses appeared on the cover of the Rolling Stone with the headline, Hard Rock Heroes. The magazine compiled the story over the summer while the band was opening for Aerosmith. Aerosmith assumed they'd be getting the cover. By the end of the tour, GNR was very popular. In 98, The Offspring released their fifth album, Americana. And in 2003, on this date, the Black Keys were forced to cancel their European tour after Dan Auerbach fractured a bone in his foot. And that is what happened today in music history. Let's go with some birthdays today. And there's some names today having some birthdays, dude. Let's see. Rachel McAdams, super cute. She is 45 years old. RuPaul, 63. Danny DeVito and the Subs are 29. I guess he's a sub above. Tom Ellis, actor, is 45. Let's see. Jeff Buckley was born on this date back in 66, my year. We lost him in 97, rock singer. Let's see. Martin Scorsese, director, is 81 today. Sada Baby, a rapper, he's 31. I have no idea who he is, but mention it just in case somebody knows him out there. Just in case. Gordon Lightfoot, born in 1938 on this date. We just lost him this year in 2023. Devin Haney, boxer, is 25. Rock Hudson, the actor, was born on this date in 25. Lost him in 1985. Who else? Let's see. And that's it. That is it. That is the famous people celebrating a little birthday action today. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here to talk about in the world of deportes? Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we? That, I think, is very, very important. And we start off with last night. Heat over the Nets, 122 to 115. They improved to 8-4. They've won 7 in a row. Tomorrow, they're in Chicago to take on the Bulls at 8 o'clock. So if Zach LaVine doesn't play in that game, does that mean he's getting traded? Yeah, I would say so too. The Kings last night defeated our Panthers 2-1. But if you took my suggestion and took the Panthers plus a goal and a half, you won with me. Cats are 10-5-1. Reinhardt, by the way, had the only goal. They've got Anaheim tonight. Bob had 25 saves. Ravens defeated the Bengals 34-20. Cincy drops to 5-5. Baltimore improves to 8-3. Lamar, 16 of 26, 264, 2 touchdowns. Also had 9 rushes for 54 yards. Man, there were some bad calls in that game, both ways. But wow, bad calls. Mark Andrews out for the year with an ankle injury. Joe Burrow with a wrist injury that they didn't tell us about. Odell Beckham, by the way, got a shoulder injury. First 100-yard game for him in a long, long time. 4 for 116. Saturday at noon, tomorrow, Louisville taking on Miami. Remember, we'll have a post-game show for you. Manny Navarro will join us. What else? Oh, yes, Dolphins, Sunday, favored by 13. Our pregame coverage at Walk-Ons in Kendall starts off at 11 a.m. We'll get you ready for the 1 o'clock kickoff. Dolphins favored by 13, over and unders 46. Miami is minus 850 on the money line. The Raiders are plus 575 on the money line. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Call my man Alan Blanco if you're looking for custom printing and embroidery. 786-618-1443. That's 786-618-1443. All right, I talked about the Carissa Thompson stuff. Explained my side of it. What else? Oh, Steve Kerr. So Steve Kerr reacted to Draymond Green choking out Rudy Gobert, right? And Steve Kerr pretty much said what needed to be said. The only part was there was one thing that was funny. Not the incident, what he said, okay? So he was addressing the altercation between Green and Gobert. He put him in a headlock. And when asked his thoughts on the entire ordeal, he called it inexcusable. And he said the actions and called the length of the suspension deserved. He definitely took it too far. It was a terrible visual for the league, for Draymond, for everybody. Draymond was wrong. He knows that. It's a bad look. The 5 games is deserved, said the Warriors coach. Kerr then added that he doesn't believe Gobert completely was faultless during the incident, but Gobert was seen trying to restrain Warrior star Klay Thompson during the fracas. Kerr also noted that the proper etiquette during such an incident is to restrain your own teammates rather than opposing players. Green's next chance to suit up will be November 28. Now, he also said that he took it too far and he's got to learn to control himself in those situations. There's one problem with that. He's an old man already in this game. He doesn't have much left. This isn't a first or second year player who's, 21, 22, 23 years old, very young, still learning like we all are. He's, in his mid-30s already or late 30s. I don't know. He's been around for a while. He's old enough already. This is who he is. Nothing will ever change about Draymond Green. Why would it? Why would Draymond Green change at this point? He's not. He's never going to change. And he will act like this, like he'll beat up his teammate like he did last year. I mean, I get it. Did they finally give him that stupid contract? I forgot because he wanted a new deal, and I think they were stupid enough. I get it because they've won all these titles, and I guess you got to pay Clay and you got to pay Draymond, but neither one of those guys are worth the money they're paying. I think they did give him a stupid contract, if I'm correct, and I think it's one of those. They're paying them for all the titles and everything from the past. Yeah, 4-year, $100 million. Yeah, stupid contract. Yeah, player option 26, 27. I wonder if he'll pick that up. So they're I mean, that team, oh my God, those contracts are. But listen, you got the best out of them, and you got what, 4 titles? I want to say, right? One before Draymond, one before Durant, 2 with Durant, and 1 after without Durant. I think that's how it went. Or did they win 2 before Durant? No, I think it was just 1. I think it was just 1. But either way, you've gotten 4 titles out of it. You've milked it. So I get it. You got to pay them and whatever. And then you'll move on after 26. You can start to, maybe move forward and add other real players to kind of help you out. But I just kind of find it funny. 4 titles, right? Right. Right. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. But it's just hilarious, dude. Draymond Green. What a trip. So Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna yesterday ended up winning the MVP for the AL and the NL. Unanimous, by the way, for both. You saw that, right? Now, Shohei, as you all know, is a free agent. But Ohtani and his camp are maintaining, listen to this, a highly secretive process around his free agency. Did you hear about this? So Ohtani's camp is running such a tight ship that any public reports of the two-way star meeting with the team will be held against that organization, as the leaks will not come from the Ohtani camp. That essentially means that teams that meet with Ohtani will be sworn to secrecy as long as he's still making a decision. Leaking their involvement could jeopardize their decision of landing him. Boy, you better not meet with anybody except the owner and the manager. And that's it. And the GM, obviously. And those 3 better never say that they did anything. They better not even tell their wives where they're going. That is crazy. Ohtani does not appear eager to spark a bidding war, and he hardly needs to drum up interest in his services since he's already the sport's best player. God, it's just like the year he was having. None of us ever even thought it was possible that somebody could do this at both sides of the plate. It's not normal. He's going to start something now. There'll be kids that are going to grow up trying to do this, and they'll grow into it. In addition to secrecy, he is reportedly open to an unorthodox contractual agreement, whichever team he decides to join. In the absence of more concrete links to Ohtani's potential destinations, reporters and executives are essentially being left to make educated guesses until the two-way star makes an actual decision. It's pretty impressive. And you know what? If you're Ohtani, you can do it because you're the greatest player of all time, basically. You're something that's never been created in baseball. Never. Like, Babe Ruth flirted a little bit with it, but it's not the same. Not like this guy. No. It's not even close. In fact, they took away the bat from him while he was pitching. They had him bat less and less and less is what they did because that was normal. That's what it's been like for over 100 years. Oh, you want to pitch and bat? No, young man. That doesn't happen in this league. No, thank you. It's cute that you want to do that, but we don't believe in that. And then here comes Ohtani, doing something that none of us ever even thought was possible. Once you pitch, you're really not supposed to be able to hit. Once in a while, you'll get a pitcher that hits like 260 in a year, and you're like, Dude, that guy was a great hitter as a pitcher.
That shows the difference between the two developments in the countries, right?
Yeah.
Japanese and
Yeah.
once you hit college here, usually you don't hit anymore if you're a pitcher.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. We coddle him here. And, that's one of the things that I liked about what Nolan Ryan was doing when he took over. He was getting his pitchers to pitch deeper into games. He wanted less bullpen. And it was working for him. They even got to a World Series. They just didn't continue it. Mateo, thank you for the love on the super chat. Oh, yeah, go ahead, play. Don't worry about it. Thank you, my man. Whatever happened to Trill Williams? I think he's on. Yeah, I think he's still IR. Or maybe he's in the practice squad because I think he's healthy already. So I think he might be. I think he might. Oh, he's a free agent? Wow. So they cut him off. Okay. That's interesting. Well, look at their roster and look at the practice squad because that's where he could be stashed because he's not on the active roster. I thought he was on the practice squad. I just don't keep up with the practice squad. I apologize, folks. I can't tell you everybody that's on the practice squad. I don't see him on the practice squad. No, he's not. Your practice squad is Johnston Alexander, inside linebacker, Vernon McKinley III, the safety, Chasen Hines, guard, Anthony Schwartz, wide receiver, Byron Cowart, defensive end, Tanner Connor, tight end, Brandon Peely, nose tackle, Braylon Sanders, wide receiver, Freddie Swain, wide receiver, Pari Nickerson, cornerback, Jake Funk, running back, Alama Ulave, center, Ryan Hayes, offensive tackle, Ethan Bonner, cornerback, Nick Bowers, tight end, and Quentin Bell, outside linebacker. Injured reserve, Devon Achane, Eric Azukama, Chris Brooks, Isaiah Wynn, Keon Crossan, and Zeke Vandenberg.
So he tore his ACL, of course, last year. He's put on injured reserve August 15th, 2022. He was waived on August 29th, 2023.
They were deep. They were deep at corner. So they had a lot of guys. Yeah. And they had a draft pick on top of that this year. So, yeah.
The Cedric Wilson all over again, right? You get Cedric and then Tyreek turns up.
Right.
Trill's brought in, and then you end up getting a chance to get
Cam.
Jalen Ramsey too, and
Cam
as well. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I like Trill too. Maybe the injury took a toll on him. You never know.
Think about it. It's only been now it's November now, so
yeah, it's been 12, 14 months now. So yeah, he should be fine. The fact that he's still out there, that tells me that he must not be himself again. That's what that tells me, unfortunately. Otani's like the best player on your elementary school all-star team, best pitcher, batter, and good in the field. But in the majors, what a freak. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous what that guy does. Brett Dodger says, too bad Ruth didn't continue on the mound. He was a great pitcher in his youth. Maybe he could not have done it all the way, do both. You never know if he would have kept doing it. Big O, since your Dolphins priest is in my eyes, LOL, Marino only played one Thanksgiving game, right, in 1999? I think so. I think you're right. Huh? The what? Yeah, no, that was, yeah. Yep, Duncan Robinson is a new man, Lenny. You are correct, sir. Torian Prince is literally the worst player in NBA history. Okay. What are your thoughts on the short-term future with Jasmine? Seems like trading in a channel between 04 and 65. Yeah, right, dude. Right now, you don't do anything. Right now, you sit and you wait because not everything has taken off. Not everything has had its run yet. Hasn't even started. So we have to be very patient with Jasmine. You know what I mean? It's a long play as it is. It's a long shot as it is. Like Star Atlas is another one of my long shots. We can't treat Jasmine like we treat, Avalanche or Polygon or Cardano or Ethereum. Or we can't treat Jasmine that way. You know what I'm saying? I love Jasmine. I have not sold any of my Jasmine, and I'm not going to sell it for a while. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hang in there because I think if it's going to climb, it'll be next year. It'll be for 2024. And once you start seeing Bitcoin really explode, I think that's going to start moving Jasmine. And here's the other thing I want you to remember. Remember this and remember it very well. China and Japan are now into crypto. But the bottom line is not all of the crypto exchanges are open yet. In China and Japan, they have to get their licenses. And then the individuals have to also be approved by the government. So this is going to be a slow process for them. And then they're going to be big players in crypto. And Jasmine is Japanese. And if it is going to be a currency in the country, and Japan is having their own problems with their own fiat, just like China's having a whole bunch of problems too. So eventually that's where it'll kick in. But we have to give it some time here. So you have to be patient and wait till 2024. Okay? All right. That's about it. We thank Cameron Wolf, Manny Navarro, Safid Dean, Anthony Chiang, Jeffrey Tarabolis, Sean Stanley. Alan is somewhere around here. Always great with us. What's up, dude? And, of course, Yoandri in the house. We will see you guys Sunday. No, I'll see you tomorrow, post-game for UM and Louisville. And then Sunday, this man here and myself will be at Walk-Ons in Kendall, starting off at 11 a.m. with the pregame show. Got all kinds of prizes and giveaways, Perdomo stuff, Canes wear stuff from Miami Dolphins gear, Big O shirts. We'll have all kinds of other stuff that they'll be giving away at Walk-Ons, gift cards, all kinds of stuff. So really, you're going to want to join us at Walk-Ons on Sunday for the Dolphins and the Raiders, and a ton of giveaways. Any of you out there, send a donation, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Anytime, anywhere, you can send that donation. Of course, you can send a Bitcoin donation, which you know we love our Bitcoin donations there at Cash Big O Show. We'll see you on Saturday. Y'all be good out there. We'll see you Saturday, same time, same place, same bat channel.